Hey everybody, and welcome to season 15 of Spine Chill. I'm one of your co-hosts here, John Wolf, here with my fellow co-host, Gary, the Hot Cross.
Hello.
Otherwise known as Purple Man. And we're here with our 16-time recurring guest, Doug Running Man.
That is correct.
Recurring guest? I thought last week we established some sort of...
Well, there was a bit of a misspeak. It was my fault. I take full blame for it. I accidentally referred to Doug as a co-host last week. That is not the case.
We rolled with it though. We decided to trial run it. And
he's still a recurring guest.
You've got to improve a little bit, Doug. You bring it up to our kind of level, and maybe we'll give you the opportunity again. But for now, guest.
This is awkward. Hold on one second. I just got to call my mom real fast and just let her know. It's all right. It's fine. We'll run with it.
No, we're very happy to have Doug on once again this week for Spine Chill for our 15th season. And every 5 seasons we've been doing a tier list, so this one is no different. We'll be doing a Survivor tier list. And the rubric for this is going to be how much we trust our fellow Survivor teammates in solo queue based on the character that they're playing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's very exciting. I think we're going to have a bit of a few disputes here and there. I think we might get a bit spicy.
I mean, considering our propensity for all playing solo queue, do we just put everyone in D tier and move on, or are we actually going to debate these one by one?
No, because we play some of these survivors, and I put myself in higher than D tier.
I'm sure you do, Gary.
There are definitely some survivors that I'm going to argue for S tier. More than one.
Same.
So
me too, to be honest.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All jokes aside, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about this tier list. This is just perfect.
Yeah. So just so everyone's clear, we can't actually rank the survivors based on power because at a certain point they're all the same. We're just going to be ranking them based on the people that usually play those survivors and how good they are at the game.
Yeah, the kind of
so it's going to be
what you can
very subjective.
What you're prepared for when you see your lobby in solo queue. You're like, oh look, I've got a Steve, a Bill, and a Claudette. What kind of match do I think I'm in for?
Right. Versus if you see 3 matching Nia players, for example.
Yeah. 3 toxic Nias, flashlights in hand.
Yeah, pink-haired Nias.
I'm just saving it all. I'm just saving it all for when we talk about them individually. I got so much to say, but we're going to save it for the individual one.
Now, before we move on, we actually have a bit of an announcement that we wanted to put forth for this special edition of Spine Chill.
Tell us more.
And that is that we have a Discord server. A Spine Chill Discord server. You can talk about your favorite ASIM games with your favorite ASIM horror content creators.
That's us.
Right.
That's you guys.
Spine Chill Discord. It's freely publicly available for anyone to join. Just be cool. Don't be
even
a
you, Doug. You can join.
Even Doug can join.
Is there a guest host section? I'm loving this already.
Oh, we should make one.
Oh,
yeah, it'll be Doug, Sino, and Tony. That'll be it.
I'm back in C tier. This is so bad, man. Oh god.
But yeah, if you're interested in joining the Discord server, please check the description for a link. If you're an audio-only listener, there should be a link there as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link there too. So just feel free to join. We're very excited about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully this isn't the biggest mistake we've ever made.
We'll find out in a few weeks, Mr. Wolf.
We'll delete it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go nuclear on it. If it gets too much to handle, we press the big red button. Goodbye.
Oh, this is a lot of work. Ugh.
But anyway, tier list. All right. We're going to start off with everyone's favorite baby survivor, Dwight. And I'm just going to put him in B tier for now. Not saying anything with that. But there he is. What do we think about Dwight players? Where do they usually rank on the scale?
Who would like to start? I'm happy to start if you want. That's fine.
Go ahead, Doug.
Go
for
it.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I actually played Dead by Daylight in 2016 when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours do you have?
That's a discussion for another day, Gary. So I played in 2016, and obviously
Dwight was one of the original
4 survivors. So I feel like
Yes.
I have had a lot of experience with Dwight's, both as and against. And I think Dwight's exactly where he belongs, right there in the B tier.
Really?
I do. Yeah. I think that, again, when you're talking about your initial 4, they're all survivors that people may have gravitated towards when they first started playing the game. So people that have still been playing, a lot of them are Dwight mains. Like they went, because back in the day, blood webs were a lot more expensive. They took a lot longer to level up in prestige. So you got a lot of like legacy prestige Dwights that are out there floating around. There's a lot of people that have invested a lot of time and energy into the survivor in the beginning of the game. And they don't want to move away from their main, right? They've put a lot of time and effort into the characters. So, and I know that Baby Dwight is and the locker Dwight is the meme, and there are a lot of D tier Dwights out there, a lot of bad Dwight players. But end of the day, a lot of people that have been committed to Dwight since the beginning are still playing Dwight, and then a lot of people play Dwight because he has a tremendous amount of cosmetics, and
which is so I'm not a big fan of Dwight as a character. I think he has a really weird long torso, and I still despise that he got Eren. I don't know why they gave him that cosmetic. It makes me angry. But I will say,
Talking about the Attack on Titan skin. For
yes,
anyone
yeah, the
not,
Attack on Titan one, yeah.
No.
It should have been given to Jake. But I will say, if there's a survivor that will leave you to go to stage 2 to commit to that generator, it's a Dwight. Dwight is a gen jockey. And so I think I would agree to put him in B, because for all of his negative elements of like hiding in a locker or leaving you to go to stage 2, he will get gens done. He will get the unhook eventually.
Right.
He's not the best, not the worst. He's an average, dependable survivor.
I was gonna argue for C initially. However, I think B is actually pretty fair, because for as many bad baby Dwights that I play with, there's usually somebody that's pretty cracked. Some of the most frustrating survivors I've ever played against as killer have been Dwight players. So yeah, I think B is pretty fair. Yeah.
And a plus point is the jingle jangle Christmas trousers.
Yeah, how could you forget?
Yeah.
How could you
Like I
forget
said,
that?
Because that's one of the things where you can know it's good survivors, because they bring those because they're obnoxious, they're annoying, and those are the kind of survivors that they're quite good at looping.
Mm-hmm.
Typically,
All right, so did we just agree on our first survivor?
I think
We
so.
did, yeah.
And of all survivors, Dwight.
Yeah. B for baby. All right. Let's move on to the next in the original 4, and that's Meg. Possibly the most popular of the original 4. So,
But
we're
also
probably
one of the
gonna have
most hated nowadays. People don't like Meg.
They don't like
No,
Meg
she's
players.
very-
I believe
very
there's
no,
a,
we
popular.
don't. We don't like
There's a-
Meg. No, we don't. No.
there's a derogatory term for Meg players called Meg heads.
And I will say, they are good at wasting pallets.
Megs are usually bad. I would say in this
They're
case, the
so
reputation is deserved. I hate to
They're
say it because I used to be quite a Meg main myself. It has been a while since
Shredded
they
Meg.
nerfed her ab muscles. I don't play her as often anymore. But yeah, most of the time, if I'm getting mad at a solo queue teammate, and it's one of the original 4 survivors, it's a Meg. Like almost every time, actually. I normally don't play against good Megs. They
Yeah,
are very pre-drop heavy as well.
Now,
Yes, that's what I mean.
all the things I said about Dwight are true of Meg too. Like, she was in the game initially, she's been around forever, and she's got great perks. Because the original survivors when the game came out, Adrenaline Sprint Burst is like probably the best combo of teachables you can have.
Yeah.
So my question is, what the hell happened to the Meg players? Like, where are the good ones that were there in
I know.
2016? Because like we don't see the cracked Megs like we see the cracked. I mean, and of course there's an exception to every rule, but the average Meg.
I think I know what happened. I think a lot of people who liked Meg and liked Sprint Burst moved on to another survivor, which we'll be talking in a little bit in the future, who has Lithe, who is maybe a little bit more of a dependable exhaustion perk, and maybe they prefer the cosmetics of.
I do think that a lot of Meg players have moved on to a different main. I do agree with that. I'm not sure I agree that's the same one that you're thinking of, Gary. But yeah, I think a lot of the former cracked Meg mains are not playing Meg much anymore.
So now it's when maybe it's more people that play her now are newer to the game or like less experienced, and they do what I do when I bring Sprint Burst and waste it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't use Sprint Burst. That gets burned in the first 2 seconds in the trial.
So then they panic, like, drop pallets, and they don't know what's going on. Meg moves a bit too fast.
Meg is probably the survivor I would nominate most likely to waste Shack pallet.
Yes. She's up there.
She's up there.
There's others that we'll be discussing. Yeah.
She's at least top 3, but she's up there for sure.
So we... Because I would probably lean towards D tier, and I love Meg.
I'm diving head first into D tier.
I like Meg, but it's gotta be D.
Oh, we're agreeing so much already.
I know, it's very boring. All right, so Meg's D tier. Let's move on to the next one. We've got a lot of survivors to move through. Claudette.
I'm gonna be so biased in this one because she is my original main.
So Claudette is going to be a tough one for me to analyze because I find that Claudettes often play the most immersed. They're likely to be running urban evasion or something like that and kind of playing more of a stealth gameplay style. But they're also a very popular choice among people who love looping and love to juice. And I'm not really sure where to place her, frankly. She's kind of got like a kind of a Dwight thing going on for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those, like, your average Claudette player is kind of notorious for the, I mean, again, since the beginning, talking teachable, she's the self-care survivor. Right. So I think if you're picturing a teammate self-care, you're listening to a streamer and they're like, oh, my teammates are self-caring in the corner. Which survivor are you assuming they're talking about if they say self-caring in the corner?
Claudette.
It's always Claudette. Yeah, most likely to self-care in the corner of the map. Yeah.
And I do agree with you that there are definitely exceptions. I get some crazy good Claudettes in my lobbies when I'm playing killer and crazy good teammate Claudettes as well. But I think we're probably going to have to lean towards the majority overall. And for that, I am also in the camp of Claudette is not to be trusted because those self-care, I ran self-care recently in a tournament.
Mm-hmm. It
Wowies.
They're incredibly slow.
Wowie.
I always forget that they nerfed self-care pretty recently.
Yeah. Don't run it without botany.
It's worse than it has been. It's been worse for a long time.
It's an investment.
But I will say sometimes it's nice to have a teammate that isn't going down with everyone else. Like sometimes having an immersed teammate that is around to get the unhooks. They may not be doing the gens because Claudettes don't do gens. They do get unhooks.
They do tend to focus more on... Yeah.
They appear from the shadows. They've been sitting in a corner of the map healing, and then they're like, unhook, and you're like, sweet. And they tend to be alright at loops. It's just they seem to not do generators.
So are we thinking C tier? Is that Gary's sounding a little C tier-y.
I honestly think she might be okay in B.
I'm thinking B or C. I do think it's a good point that she's more likely to be self-carrying in the corner, or like crouching along the edge of the map than she is to be like making killers fall through holes like JRM. So maybe on that point, lower than B. C.
I think C. We gotta play to the consistent average player, right? And again, because you can find a cracked main at every character, like because somebody out there is juicing.
I will accept C because if they just did generators a little more, they'd be better. But because they don't do generators, I can accept C.
Oh, thank God Gary can accept it, John.
C? Oh, wow. C for we would have
been in trouble. Oh, thank God.
Prince Gary has spoken.
Through B.
No.
Prince Gary.
You know what? I'm sharing the screen. She goes in C.
Thanks, John. Right.
The last of our original 4, Jake here, who's also going in
Jake
B by
is such
default.
an underrated, fun survivor. But
Jake's
but they never get the sabotage play done right.
Jakes love to meme, you guys. Jake players are always so funny. They're always with the headbang. Like I think Jake players invented like the head nods and like there's just a lot. Yeah. There's a lot to love about Jakes. Now we're talking about trust though, like trust to win the game or trust to have a good ass time. Because Jake loves to party, but is Jake a good survivor?
No, Jake, I think Jake is a fair weather friend. He's down to headbang with you in the corner of the map, but maybe not dive headfirst into the basement to save you in the end game.
He's not a survivor that will risk themselves for you, nor is he one that will hit skill checks or do the sabotage play correctly or loop very well.
He's partying too hard to do skill checks, bro. He's Jake.
Jake is the party guy, yeah.
He's one of my favorite survivors who desperately deserves more cosmetics, but I think I'm going to go straight for D tier. Like
D though. No, D.
They're fun, but they're not good.
D is too much. Fun has to be considered here.
No.
Yeah.
Save me, John.
I would argue C.
Yeah,
because they can headbang. Every survivor can headbang.
D is where Meg is, though. We can't put Jake with Meg.
Sorry, Jake is not Meg levels.
When was the last time you played and you went, you know what, that Jake was cracked?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you said the same thing with Meg. I see cracked Megs.
I didn't see one yesterday. Sorry. The stats are in, Gary. The stats are in.
I see cracked Jakes more often than cracked Megs.
Oh, every time I see a Jake, they
1,000,000%.
They go for the hook to sabotage it, and they never get it.
At least they're trying, though.
I know they're trying, but so is Meg. Meg is trying.
A hook.
Never. Meg doesn't know how. Meg doesn't know how to sabotage a hook.
Meg doesn't know that you can do that in the game.
Yeah, what's a sabotage? Sabotage is when Meg throws the shack pallet at 5 gens, not a perk that you use to take out hooks.
I say C.
I'm voting C as well.
I would say bottom of C then.
Okay.
He's so stubborn, isn't he, John?
I know.
I'm not having to...
I'll accept it if it's bottom, Prince Gary. I'll accept it as long as he's at the bottom.
And this is why you're a guest, Doug.
I know, and I'll do it anyways. I'd rather not be full-time so I can just talk trash to Gary.
They tried to put him in C tier.
You should have heard
Gary. I wouldn't have it. All right. We'll move on to this is gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about this. But I want you guys to go first.
I had the best. Like I was playing Huntress for the first time recently, a couple of weeks ago. I was like trying to learn Huntress, and I went against a 3-man Nia toxic flashlight squad, and they were so desperate to like bully me that I destroyed them.
Tale as old as time, Gareth. Tale as old as time.
And that's That's
a great story from a killer perspective. But we're talking solo queue trust.
Well, like when I've played with Nias like that in the past, they want to be bullies most of the time. And there is really good Nias out there. But I think more often than not, they want to be good.
Okay.
So there is some very cracked Nias out there. So I don't think
Nias try so hard, right? Like they just try so hard. They don't always effectively do it, but they try super hard. Now, I think this is like a noob 3 thing. I don't know if you guys are everybody's familiar with noob 3, right? Like,
yeah.
One of the most influential content creators in DBD history. He was a Nia main, and the amount of noob 3 imposters, people that want to be that guy so bad. Which makes sense because he was insane at Survivor when he was playing.
Very good.
Yes.
One of the best I've ever seen. And so I think he's just inspired a lot of people to be insane, and they just try so hard to be insane. But like, I don't know. I would say A tier because if I'm in solo queue, I'm not necessarily. You don't have to be a perfect teammate, right? But like, I want you to try. And I don't see a ton of Nias give up on hook or DC early. Like I'm thinking of, and it's hard to remember because we have so many DCs all the time.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like Nia's on average, they're putting the effort in. They're playing to the best of their abilities. Maybe a little overcommitted on the flashlight saves, but at the end of the day, they're trying hard.
I'll agree with you. I think Nias want to be S tier, but they are A tier.
Yeah,
they're like somewhere in the middle of A tier for like dependability because they're trying and. I do respect someone trying.
Maybe not high A, but they're A.
Yeah, they're in A somewhere.
I
They're
think
not close to us.
we're on the same page. Because Nias are like they're the DBD mains. They're the people that love playing Dead by Daylight. They go for the head-ons. They go for the pallet stuns. They go for the flashlight blinds. They're there to play DBD. You know, they're there to make plays and have fun. They're kind of the more serious Jakes in that response. In that respect.
They're like not looking for like memes. They're looking for the moments that kind of become memes.
There is nothing that a Nia hates more, though, than sitting on a gen.
Yes.
Which I think is part of what prevents them from being S-tier teammates. Maybe Lightborn. Yeah, the killer Lightborn. Like,
Lightborn's a DC if you're a Nia. Remember when I said about the Nia's not DCing? Like, if they have Lightborn, throw it out.
That's there.
That's an instant DC sound effect.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think A is fair because it's like they're there to play the game. It might not necessarily be a winning strategy all the time, though, because they're there for their highlight reel more than anything else.
TikTok,
but it's fun.
I will take that over any other style of teammate. You know, the self care in the corner, the person that's just not there to win. So, yeah, Nia's A tier.
Yeah,
Laurie.
Someone that you used to be able to depend on to be a little bit of a, like, they're going to waste the killer's time by having DS. But that's no longer the case.
I was going to mention DS and Object and be like, Laurie's were like the original, like, the person who gets tunneled a lot or the person that wants to get chased. Like, they love to get chased, right? And I would say from the killer side, my amount of cracked Laurie's, like, it'd probably be like, I think at 80 or 90% of my Lauries are good players. Like, they're not, I don't typically run into a bad Laurie, which is a little odd considering that, you know, she's a licensed character and licensed characters tend to get played. We'll talk about more licensed characters that are bad later. But, you know, like they're more likely to be played by more casual people or people that are like, oh, I'm a big fan of the Halloween series. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like Lauries are really good most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, and then not just good, like kind of 5-tool players. Like, they're kind of good at everything. Like, usually they're going to last in a chase. They're going to be altruistic. They're going to do gens. I know a lot of Lauries like to sit on gens.
Laurie is one of the less popular survivors. I don't see Lauries very often, but when I do, they're usually pretty solid. I agree. It's not kind of that stereotypical, like, I've got DS and Object of Obsession and I'm sitting with my Swift in the call anymore. They're more just kind of like, you know,
an all-rounder.
Normal players. They're more like normal players now. But I generally, if I see a Laurie in my lobby in solo queue, I'm like, sure, that's fine.
I've mostly seen Lauries do really well in chases. Like, they'll make a chase take a little while.
Yeah.
They will they will tend to give up on hook though. I've noticed that a few times.
I don't know if I've noticed it, but I haven't noticed the opposite enough. And you know how much I love to argue with you, Gary, but I haven't noticed the opposite enough to argue. So I'm going to take your word for it.
I've just seen a few. Like, if I think of Laurie, I can picture them unhooking themselves in front of me and running for the hook.
My only worry is like, are people giving up on hook because they're playing with Gary or because of the way they play the game? You know?
No, because Laurie's the only one that I can think of where that's an example where I feel like they'll do. No. If the chase doesn't go in their favor, they're done. Like, if they have a short chase.
Do they DC on the first down if they go down really fast? Is that a thing?
No, I don't think I've seen the DC so much like that. But, like, I've seen them give up on hook. First, they're like, if the chase did not go the way they wanted to, they kind of want to move on to the next one. And I wonder if that's just because they are good at chases, and if it doesn't go right, they're like, well, this match is already gone.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 2-gen chase. I want to move on to the next one.
It's kind of like, I feel like a lot of Laurie players, not all of them, but I think a lot of Laurie players kind of have that, like, self-insert fantasy of, like, that's right, I'm the survivor of Halloween. I'm the survivor of
I'm
Michael
the original
Myers.
final girl.
The final girl,
and they want to live out that final girl fantasy, and if it's going well for them, then they're all in, but if it's not, then they tend to waver a little bit. Like,
they're on to the sequel.
What I was envisioning. Yeah.
So do we feel comfortable with A tier though? Because I think I would vote A tier.
I would say
I'd probably put them in high B myself.
Relative to other survivors, I think I'm putting them in.
I mean, this is this is one of the things where like it'll be easier to move them around once we've got more survivors around. I would be happy to put them in A tier for now if John's happy.
Yeah, tentatively. I'm going to
accept
say
that.
I accept your desperate play for A tier.
Thank you, Prince Gary.
Prince Gary accepts
my
the
liege.
peasant's
Thank you.
Should I put my
request.
tiara on?
Ooh, it'd go good with the purple hair. I feel like
Princess Gary. Ace. Ooh, Ace. Ace is kind of like the male Nia in a lot of ways.
Oh, man, I don't know. I think aces are nuts. Like, he's so quiet. Like, I think if you're a tryhard, if you're really a sweaty survivor, like, Ace is going to be your top choice. Like, he's the quietest survivor. He's got the smaller character model. It feels like a smaller character model. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but he does seem a little bit shifty. And again,
he's a very slim survivor, I think.
Yeah. And unquestionably, he's the quietest survivor in the game. So he's got kind of almost like a built-in Iron Will thing going on. I just think that if you're a comp DBD survivor player, like you just care about winning over everything, like Ace is your first choice. And I think it reflects that in the aces that I get both.
I am never happy when I see aces in my killer lobby.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They're always a problem. There's usually two of them as well.
Because they play DBD. They're DBD players, right?
They tend to be a little better than Nias, though.
I'd agree.
That was what I was going to say. They're like the male Nia, but they tend to be a little bit more consistently better. A little less desperate to make the play and a little more confident to make it.
They appear from nowhere and get the blind. And you're like, I looked behind that rock. Where were you?
Yeah. I'll say that. I don't think that there's a survivor in the roster I'm more confident when I see a beamer as Ace. Like, aces with flashlights they're scared.
And they've always got flashlights.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So I think are we agreeing on our first S here?
Is this our first S tier?
I mean, I think I'd say S. I don't like Ace particularly because they also have some of the most. I mean, I like Ace. Some of his cosmetics. I don't know. It's difficult.
I just was really excited because I was like, Gary and I are really organically agreeing about something. I don't like Ace. I dislike Ace.
I dislike Ace too.
But I'm throwing out my bias to say he's an S tier survivor in terms of trust.
What really like pours salt in the wound too is that a lot of Ace cosmetics tend to be like loungewear, like robes and shit. Like he doesn't really take you seriously at all. You know? Very disrespectful.
What's this guy's big idea?
I'm in my tiger suit and I'm ready for a chase.
Stupid mustache, my stupid chest hair, my stupid money coming out of my pocket. Get out of here.
I haven't even had my coffee yet, and I'm gonna loop you for days.
He doesn't drink coffee. He drinks cappuccino delivered to him by at the casino. He's like, one more cappuccino, please. I'm on a roll. I
want to win streak.
They call me Ace for a reason.
Fuck Ace. Anyways.
Bill.
D tier.
Bill is
D tier. D tier. Do we want to talk? It's probably funny if we talk, but he's D tier.
No, we got I mean, as much as I would love to be like, D tier, and then we move on. Is he better than Meg?
No.
Bill is closer than you think.
If not the worst survivor. Like, if I get Bill's in my lobby, I know what's happening. I just know he's gonna go down. He's just gonna do nothing. He's gonna miss every skill check on every generator. He's probably got like a weird mismatch perk build that makes no sense.
Self-care. He's got Sprint Dead Hard at the same time.
Yeah, he's running like every exhaustion perk at the same time.
2 exhaustion perks, twice the value.
Bill, I would say Bill is the survivor most likely to think they're stealthing from you when you can hear them. Clear as day from across.
I've seen them like crouching around. I'm like, I could see you. Like as the killer, I could just see them
and hear you from a mile away because you're coughing up a lung over there. Yeah,
I can't believe I have a relevant story to this. So I was playing Killer on stream years ago. I think it was before I was even a Twitch partner. It was just early in my streaming career. The first time I was ever blatantly accused of cheating on stream was a Bill. We were on a corn map, and he came to my stream and was like, "You got to be using hacks because you saw me. I was completely hidden where I was at." And one of my mods went and clipped the moment. And he was literally between 2 of the corn rows, bleeding without Iron Will, just doing his thing. And it was like in plain sight. I could literally see him. I'm like, I can see it's like a a corn tunnel directly at Bill, and this man was like, "No, you're hacking. You're doing something because there's no way you could have seen me."
I will say that about Bills as well. They think they're good. Because they've probably come fresh from Left 4 Dead, and they're really good at that game, and they're like, I'm going to play Bill in this game, and then they're just...
Yeah, aim doesn't help you here, Bill. Yeah. This is a different kind of game. Last thought on Bill.
Yeah.
You can go ahead, and then I'll give you my last thought on Bill. Sorry.
No, go ahead. It was just...
We're doing a little dance. We're doing a little dance. The last thought on Bill is, honestly, gentlemen, answer me. Have you ever seen a cracked Bill? Like, have you ever been like, that Bill was insane? Have you ever said that once?
One time.
For real?
And
that's
I was shocked.
Bro. Yeah, that's never happened to me. And there are very few things in this game that never happened to me.
I'll tell you what Bill is. Bill is the survivor that is waiting for you to die. You're on your first hook, and he's going to sit there on the other side of the map waiting for you to die. That's Bill.
Because he's got left behind that teachable.
Yeah, he's waiting.
There's a Bill story. This happened years ago, and I still remember it. I was on the hook, and a Bill comes over, and he works on a gen about 8 feet in front of me, or 8 meters in front of me, I guess. And I'm kidding you not. I'm on my first hook. He completes the gen and leaves from start to finish. He must have had a toolbox or something. And then I went to second stage while he was in the middle of it, and then he just leaves, and I die on hook. And I was like, what? And so I confronted him in the post game, and he was just like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
That's Bill. Yeah,
that's our Bill. That's our Bill.
That's our Bill. So from then on, I'm like, okay, zero trust in Bill. D tier teammate.
Yeah. I love it.
Easiest D tier that we'll have, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be one of the most popular survivors in the game. So one of the highest variants of gameplay. Feng Min.
Ugh.
I mean, I can go.
I think Gary would be a great candidate to start this one out.
Because they're arguably they might be the most popular survivor, so they have the widest variety of skill sets. But as a result of that, you cannot depend on them because some of them are just awful, and they always have a high opinion of themselves. They always go around in pairs. There's always 2 of them. They're playing in at least duos.
I have noticed that they have the most ego of any survivor.
Yes. No one will be ruder to you in a post-game lobby after they've played badly and blame you for everything that went wrong than Feng.
Are they also our most likely candidate for that DC I was talking about, the first down DC? Like they get down first, and get down, they're just bam, they're out. Like, nope, next game.
Most likely the DC, period. I think I've seen more DCs from Feng Min's than any other survivor.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So like for a while on stream, I had so many bad Fengs in like a row that I started dodging lobbies with them.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they're just bad. They're not team players. They're not interested in playing a team-based game, and they're not as good as they think they are. So I started dodging them.
Yeah. And then it's sad too because the player base is so big, so many people play that there's all these
eventually I gave up.
There's golden Fengs out there that are super cracked and good, but they just get hidden among the muck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. It's just the character's so popular that you've got all these bad Fengs just weighing the entire category down.
It's like Nurse's kill average. Obviously, Nurse is the best killer.
Yeah.
But there's so many like low MMR people playing the Nurse that the kill rate looks really low.
True.
And that's Feng.
That's hilarious. The best survivor in DBD might be a Feng Min player. And we're still putting her in D tier, right? Like most likely. I'm thinking top of D tier, but
I think top of D tier. She's better than Meg.
I was gonna
absolutely better than Meg.
I was gonna fight for low C. Because they're not all bad. Like I have dodged them before, but they're not like a Bill, even a Meg. I mean, if Jake's in C,
I would have argued that. Well, have you ever dodged a Meg or dodged a Bill? But then it's like you don't see Megs and Bills as often. So yeah, this is a tough one. Do we want to give the Princess Pudding here and let him get the vitamin C?
The Princess Pudding.
We need to build up some cred for later. So
is that we need to?
Plus, I think if you think about the audience. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, they're not that bad. Like, Feng's not that bad.
Oh, you put my main in D tier.
Is that called the Dunning-Kruger effect?
I could do
Have you heard of
OC. I could serve the prince's pudding.
Thank you.
Okay,
I like
so-
the saying as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That'll be on a t-shirt someday.
I want to get like art of me having a pudding now, a little crown.
I would literally put it on my wall right there, Gary. I got a
I
spot.
look like I'm wearing a cape, so
She's below Jake, though. All right.
Yes, agreed. I know Gary hates
Gary's
that.
gonna
but-
try.
I don't care enough about it, but I just think I've had too many Jakes go for a sabotage play and just completely bollock it up.
Wow.
That's
Sounds
the
like you haven't had
Survivor's
enough.
That's just you're right. That's just Survivor's
I'll say
full
this.
stop.
I'll say this about Fungs. Fungs are big on sabotage, and they're actually pretty good at it
Yeah,
sometimes.
they are.
They
good.
are. Yeah, that's true.
The most
And they will
smack.
and they will body block. They will take a
Yeah.
hit to get you
Yeah.
to wiggle off, which is why I would say she's above Jake. But
I will say that I sabotage is my least favorite perk to play against this killer. It drives me nuts. And Feng Mins are almost always the sabo person that gets it off properly. Like that's the one where
True.
I'm like, oh my god, why are you doing this?
yeah, like
Oh, it's,
a Fong will fight to keep you alive. Jake's won't.
yeah.
Jake's
That's
is walking
fair.
out the door.
Jake still's more fun.
Fong's going
though.
to try and be obnoxious to save you. So I still would fight to put her above Jake just because they will try.
I think the DC rate trumps everything else. Though.
that is true. Yeah, that's a fair point. The DC rate does.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah,
I
fair enough. Actually, yeah, they DC too often.
I had to replace my headset battery, but that was what I was going to say too. Is how many Jakes DC on first down?
Yeah,
Gary?
that is true. Very true. Very good point.
David King.
Okay, this is a
gonna
tough
be
one.
a tough one.
David's a goofball.
Back when Dead Hard was the old Dead Hard for Distance Dead Hard, you knew every David in the world had Dead Hard. And so maybe that was what was carrying David's back in the day. Because I think the Davids they've reduced in quality over the years.
Definitely. They cannot loop.
Yes.
Davids used to be nuts in chase. They used to be like, again, like the better version of the Nia, like the ones that came into play and they could play good. I always knew when I took a chase with the David that I was going to be in for a chase. And my teammates, if David was the one in chase, I was like, all right, we got time to sit on this gen. Nowadays, I feel like he's regressed some.
I think he's kind of in a similar situation to Meg in that a lot of the old David mains have moved on to a more recent male dreamboat character. Because for a long time, David was considered like the best looking male survivor. I didn't agree with it.
He's
but
still pretty good looking to me. I don't know. I think he's a handsome
yeah,
guy.
but
He's a handsome
there's,
chap.
you know, there's some new skin in the game now, and David's not quite the shining diamond he once was. So I think that's partially what happened.
I will say I've got two memories of David. When I think about David, I think of when I went against a plague once and he was sick and I was on a generator. I was like, don't jump on my generator. And he did. Got me sick as well. And then the other time is I had a David. So the killer had Dead Man Switch. My generator was so close to being finished. And they came over, tapped it, heard the terror radius and ran. And it got Dead Man Switched. And then the killer came over. And I was like,
This really traumatized Gary because I think you mentioned it last episode.
Yeah, I was just
Maybe,
going to
yeah,
say,
yeah,
here we go. Another week, another Gary bitching about Dead Man Switch. Okay.
no, I'm just saying that's David. They're just like, they don't think before they do. They just act first and then
They are
team
love
be
them.
damned.
They are kind of the tough alpha, but
I love
they
a man
don't
of
always
action,
back
though.
it up.
I love a man of action, so I'm down. I like Davids. I don't love Davids on my team. I like facing Davids. I don't love facing Davids because sometimes they're cracked. So I feel like maybe B or low A is where I would start, but I don't think I'm super invested in where he ends up if you guys want to.
I would fight to keep him where he is. I'm not seeing him in A.
I think
Whoa,
B below
whoa.
Dwight is fine.
Lower your voice, Gary. We have a lot of podcasts left.
I am not going to allow him to go in A. That's not happening.
I will not accept it.
He's not going to allow it, Doug. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, and honestly, I just don't want the fight, so I'm going to let it go.
Prince is going to overrule the peasants.
I'm trying to create the drama that we need, the proper disputes. Every time I start one, it's like,
Yeah, we
whoa,
agree a
okay,
little too
Gary,
much.
whoa.
I joke a lot, but Gary, you're perfect. Keep it up.
Oh, you stop it, you.
Well, we'll just move along then to Quentin.
Oh, I miss Melted Candle, Quentin.
He's still kind of there if you squint.
No, he's handsome now. He used to be better when he looked like Gollum.
Yeah.
There's going to be some riddles. But I will say, they're often not bad at the game.
I hate to say it because Quentin is one of my least favorite survivors. I never play Quentin. I don't like him, but generally, Quentin teammates are pretty good.
Yeah,
they're not amazing, but they're usually pretty solid. I would liken him to Laurie players a little bit.
Yeah. There's few numbers. They're few in numbers, but they are dedicated.
I'd say the same. He's like a niche character, and so not a lot of people play him. But it's not like the people that do play him tend to be pretty solid. Like you said, I don't think you're ever going to be like gross a Quentin like on your team. You're not going to worry about a Quentin or be sweating a Quentin. I love the remake. I love Kyle Gallner. And so when he got I don't know if you guys were around when he got involved in like the social media thing to change the character up. You guys are aware of that?
Oh,
vaguely.
I didn't hear about that, but yeah.
So his original design was like a goblin. He looked nothing like Kyle Gallner.
Melted Candle Quentin.
Yeah. And so Kyle got involved on like Twitter and being like, please remake his face so I don't look like that. Because he's like, that's supposed to be me, and it was a really cool thing. And Kyle Gallner is kind of a scream king in my mind. He's got some really good horror roles and I like him a lot just as a person. So I have a soft spot for Quentin. I even enjoy playing him from time to time. So
I like Quentin. He's one of the few. Like I prestiged him just because I wanted some more cosmetics for him. I wanted the bloody one just because there's not much for him because he's licensed.
Yeah.
I think he may have been maybe my first prestige character.
Oh wow.
That I got to P3 back in the day. I don't know.
Gary,
might have
Gary
been.
lore.
So I'm gonna say A.
Yeah. But below Laurie,
I would say
right?
A too.
Like
I would say below Laurie.
Some
Yeah.
Laurie,
on par with Laurie, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're very similar. We kind of covered a lot of the Quentin when we were talking about Laurie, frankly. Cool. Tapp. Detective Tapp.
Now, we were discussing Bill. I have similar feelings for Tapp.
I mean, basically, he's big, he's loud, and he's dumb, right? Like, overall, like, he's just, I don't know, man. When was the last time you were ever wowed by a Tapp in a game?
I don't think I ever have.
Right? Wow.
I think there's sometimes a way you went, wow, they dropped God Palette real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's so bad that he can't be low C, and I think he's better than Megs and Bills for sure. But just uninspiring overall. He's got some cool cosmetics too.
I'd put him at the top of D because, like,
Do you think King of D tier?
Maybe.
See, I put him C. I don't find myself, like Doug said, being like, wow, cracked Tapp, holy crap. But I also don't find myself, not nearly as often as with Megs and Bills, being like, this Tapp is just... He is throwing the game right now.
Yeah, well, usually I find myself with a Tapp being like, what have they been doing the whole match?
That's just Survivors, though, man.
No, it's not fair because then we've just spoken about Quentin and Laurie and like I know what David's doing. David's actually getting into a chase. Tapps are in the match,
and that's why they're above B.
That's what I'm saying. Like Tapp, like a lot of the time you'd be like, he hasn't taken any hooks. Maybe he should take some heat. Maybe he should get involved in the match.
He's a police officer, Gary. He is the heat.
Yeah.
No.
It does make me sad, though, because I like Danny Glover is one of my favorite actors.
Same.
Love the character.
He deserves better. He deserves better
than Detective Tapp, sadly.
Yeah. But I think low C is where I'm gonna vote. But
I would say too. Do we say under Feng Min or
yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I would say too.
Tapp's aren't taking a hit for you to get you to wiggle off.
Yeah, I've never had a single sabotage play pulled off by a Tapp, so automatically he's below.
Yeah.
Tapp's the guy that opens the door and leaves before you even know what's going on.
He got pushed out, Gary.
Yeah, he got pushed out.
All right. Kate.
Okay.
I love Kate.
I love the character Kate, and their cosmetics.
I do love the character Kate,
and their cosmetics are amazing, but we got to talk about Kate players, bro.
I think did we say earlier that like Feng Min's like we said they were most likely to DC, but I think Kate players might have the worst attitude.
They're really, really, really sassy, and I was gonna say a Kate player is who I would expect to go for an unhook injured, get knocked down before they get the unhook off, and then DC. Like that's Kate in my mind. That's what Kates do. You went for the save. You didn't, especially
they
if
do like a bad dead hard.
Especially if they fake the save and then they dead hard and then they just and then they get knocked anyways. They're out of the game.
I agree with that. I also think Kate players are most likely to be the loudest, most obnoxious post game chatters in a Swift.
Yeah, 1000% agreed.
Yeah, they're like the vocal piece for the Swift that beats you.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, you really tried, sweaty, that kind of person.
Yeah, well, the lore is rock star, so they got that main character syndrome, right? They're just like, I'm the center of attention. Yeah.
When it comes to solo queue trust, too,
because this is what I was about to say. They're not bad at the game, though. Like, Kates tend to be able to do a bit of looping. Like, I find that they'll choose their moments to drop a pallet. They don't just pre-drop every time.
I haven't noticed Kate's being particularly bad at the game, but I don't notice them being particularly good either.
They're not very altruistic. They'll leave you if they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kate's. I mean, they're gonna mess up their makeup if they go for the basement save. So
true.
They're gonna leave that one.
I think they're good, but they're quite selfish in solo queue. I think they're like and I think you're right. I think sometimes they have a bad attitude in post game lobbies because they're selfish and don't care about the rest of the team. So if you don't help them escape, they're pissed off with you.
Yeah, because they're better looking than you.
Yeah,
and you should have sacrificed yourself for them.
Yeah. You should have jumped in the puddle to stop her shoes from getting wet.
Oh. So we thinking better than Feng, worse than Jake?
That's kind of... I'm thinking C tier.
Oh, I was thinking she might be quite comfortable in B tier. Because like they're not bad. They're just selfish. They've got bad attitudes.
But I
in solo
trust
queue, I don't see a Kate and go, oh no.
I trust Claudette more than I trust Kate. I trust Jake more than I do Kate too, but I think we're really pushing Gary's buttons with all this Jake stuff.
I just disagree. Like if so, Claudette's, we put her in C tier because she's most likely to be in a corner self-caring. Kate's not doing that.
Yeah,
Kate is doing gens. Kate is she is in chases.
But she's doing gens for her to escape, not for you to escape.
True. Doesn't matter. As long as they're doing gens, that helps me escape.
Theoretically.
Claudette self-caring is not going to help me escape.
Bonus points for the cosmetics being really good too, though, right? I mean, I know.
The scarecrow ones.
That's not. I don't know if that's allowed, but I don't care. These tier lists are ours, not yours.
No, we can give them plus points for the cosmetics.
Plus points. Cosmetics are real nice.
If I'm stuck on a gen with someone, I'd like them to look interesting. So Kate's got that covered.
Yeah. And you can rely on a Kate to look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fight for her to stay where she is, but
I'm not going to fight with you anymore, Gary.
Fight with me, Doug. Fight with me.
It's fine.
Get in the mud with me.
We're saving.
Fights.
It better be bottom B though. She's not better than David.
I'm happy with where she is. I think she's more dependable than.
I accept that. If John accepts that,
okay.
If the council accepts,
thank you for
the prince's decree.
I accept low B with the possibility of going high C later.
And in DMs after the podcast, John and I will both agree that she's actually C tier. We just wanted to keep you happy.
Yes,
and I appreciate that my happiness means that much to you both.
Yeah. Now, Gary, I hope that you're taking note of how many times we're relenting to you, because it's going to be time to pay the piper for later.
Yeah, I have been keeping track. We're 2-2 now. We're like balanced again.
Wait, what are the other two? Wait, what?
Well, was it Meg that I didn't want to put in D, and then Jake I don't think belongs above or where he is. Like we've had a few disputes already.
I know about the Jake. I don't remember you putting up much of a fuss about Meg, but we've got the footage. We can go.
What was it Claudette? Yeah, we've argued.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Adam.
I love Adam. The best Christmas sweater.
I will say, the first thing I'll say about Adams is that you can always count on them being pretty stylish.
Yep.
Good fashion.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, I would just argue that, again, it's another one of those like Tapp situations where not a lot of people play them. But and Quentin as well. But then when you get them, they're like almost always even, if not above average, like good. I see a lot of good Adams.
I don't think Adams are ever particularly like god loopers or anything, but they are good. They're a solid looper.
Yeah, I would argue it's got to be at least A tier. Because I see an Adam, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a player. They play the game.
I would agree so much that I would say top of A at the moment.
Yeah,
top
I would
of
agree.
A.
I would agree with that. I trust Adams more than I trust Nia's for sure. I don't know, John. This could be John's moment to push back. We'll see.
Well, I just don't feel that strongly about Adam that I want to push back. I don't know. I got to pick my battles. I'm just a little
I'm picking
surprised.
every battle possible.
Because I was going to say A. I was going to say A. I just wasn't going to say high A. So that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty significant. What, like so far, he would be number 2 out of everyone.
Yeah. I think. Though,
but
honestly.
I would say, I think an Adam, the same way Nia, you can kind of rely on to be going for those flashlights and trying really hard. Adam's doing the same thing with the objective.
Yeah,
Adam is on those gens. He will commit to getting that gen done.
Super altruistic too. Super altruistic too. But like,
stage 2 with Adam.
You don't get farmed with Adam either though. He's gonna be careful. He's gonna make sure that the killer's moving away. He's gonna take a hit for you always. He's gonna be fine to trade at endgame if he's got hook states. Like Adams are solid, man.
Yeah, Adams is a good team player. Now that you mention it, yeah, I'm gonna put okay. Yeah, sure.
We could even fight for S, arguably.
No, don't push it,
Gary. When we get to the end, if we need to fill out S a little more, we can
if it's just Ace, we'll be like, can we bump some up? Because Ace can't just be there on his own.
No, we have some S's coming up.
Yeah, we do have some S's, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. On a similar note to Adam, I would say Jeff.
I disagree on any similarities.
I'll just let you two go at it then.
Yeah, because to me, big and dumb and loud applies to Jeff too. Like,
I would say
they're so bad in my games, man.
Big, loud, and dumb.
Big, loud, and dumb.
Here's why I'm not saying that Jeff is high A with Adam or anything. I'm not even saying that he's A, but I am saying that it's the general spirit of being there to help the team is present with Jeff's.
He reminds me of big, loud, and dumb Jake. Honestly,
I do think I will say that they're less capable than any of the A tier survivors that we have, but generally Jeff's are trying to help out. They're just not always able to follow through. But I appreciate the attitude. I would put him in B, frankly.
Gary, please help.
I would argue maybe King of C tier.
King of C. You guys are so mean.
Because like Jeff's are kind of useless.
Yes, thank you. Oh. And I mean, because
they are loud. They are quite large. I wouldn't say they were dumb. They're like, they've got John's not wrong. They've got the right attitude. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're just not trying that hard.
I'm not usually wowed by Jeff's gameplay, but I do appreciate the things that they're trying to do. You know, I normally
they'll trade Jeff, on hook, but they'll do it badly.
Yeah,
okay.
Jeff is gonna be the one Jeff is gonna be the one that'll trade with you in the basement in the endgame collapse. You know, he'll go for that endgame save. I find more often than maybe others.
But I will say he'll go for the endgame trade, but fall over, and then you're both on the hook.
He's trying. That's cool. So if your kid goes into the kitchen and cooks you a meal, and just throws a bunch of shit from your fridge in there, yeah, they sure try, but they're not a chef, bro. That tastes terrible. Okay, I'm just saying. No, my kids are like adults. They're like 14 and 16. No, I'm just saying, like, they're trying. It's like you can put on the Bob the Builder belt and the hammer, the plastic hammer, and they can be like, I'm a carpenter. You sure are, little buddy. They're trying. Jeffs are trying, but they're so bad, bro. Like, no, I've had it easy. I've had it easy today. I haven't had to fight for much. Right? I've had it pretty easy. I've kind of just gotten my way all day. It's been very nice. But I'm going to be like struggling to accept high C with Jeffs. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my subjective experience is bad, but like I do know a couple of really good Jeff players, but that's not the population at large. Jeff he's just really big, loud, and dumb. Like I said, Jake, he's like the bigger, louder, dumber version of Jake.
But
he's trying. He's trying his best.
But he will go for the unhook. Claudette will self-care in a corner before they go for the unhook, and you'll die.
Yeah.
So he's above Claudette.
That's why.
Surely.
That's why I want to put him in low B. And even then, I'm like, Kate, because like generally Kate players are better than Jeff players, but Kate players have such a worse attitude. I just have a hard.
But
time
you can rely on a
putting
Kate to
them
have a
with that.
bad attitude. So there's that.
You can rely on Jeff to have a good attitude.
Well, that's not true.
That is true. I did have a Jeff DC on me actually on my last stream.
Yeah. Jeff can
'Cause he was
sometimes have weirdly stinky attitudes.
Yeah, because I slugged him for the 4K because they were being really annoying.
Okay. Or maybe he has a point. Oh, okay.
Well, they were going for boil over sabotage.
Oh,
plays
okay, then yeah,
stuff
bleed him out.
on Ormond with the map offering. But yeah, anyway. Most of the time, I'm happy to see Jeff in my lobbies though in solo queue.
Where would you put them, Doug?
Like bottom C, probably bottom C, or
Bottom
maybe above Tapp, but below Feng. But that's just me. And again, like I told you guys, I'm willing. I could see you guys. I mean, it looks like the debate is between John and Gary between B and C.
Well, no.
So-
I think the debate is between Doug. Are you willing to see him at the King of C? Because I mean that's the middle ground between you two.
I'm not a prince, so I don't have to decree anything, Gary. I just,
at this point,
I accept that you guys want to call him top C, and maybe my subjective opinion is false based on whatever
at this point,
variables.
since you want low C and I want low B, really the middle ground is high C. So
I accept it.
over Claudette.
That's fine. I don't agree.
I think so,
it's fine.
but if it would make Doug slightly happier, I would put him below Claudette.
We do want Doug to be happy.
Yeah, because he looks sad right now. Look, he's not even.
No, I'm actually yelling at my Echo Dot.
I know,
in the
just
room.
joking.
My Echo Dot just started talking about something. And I'm like, I'm recording a podcast, A-word.
The Echo Dot's
Stop it.
joining in.
Yeah. They have something to say about it. AI is taking over.
I mean, I like Jeff players, but no offense to any Jeff mains out there, but I don't like you so much that I'm willing to go to bat for you this hard. So we can put him below Claudette.
I trust him more than Jake. I trust Jake more than him, too.
Okay, well,
That's fair, actually. That's fair. I think I trust Jake more than
No,
Jeff.
see, Gary's trying to slip one in there. But no.
I'm agreeing with you guys on the Jake situation.
Now King John is making a decree. No.
I'm already making massive concessions.
Okay. This is fine.
Okay. We'll just have to. We can take a review later. Jane.
Oh,
I think Jane is a solid survivor.
true.
They're not the best. They're not the worst. I think.
Yeah.
For me,
They're very average.
Yeah, they're likely to have, because head on being one of her main perks. I like that they do bring that quite a lot, and I'm a big fan of being head on when I'm playing killer, and definitely using it as survivor. But is that the most dependable perk to have on your team? Not always, because like that.
Yeah, Janes are also very loud.
Nobody
They're
knows
the
you
loudest survivors, and they never bring Iron Will. They never bring.
Well,
Which,
no one
I mean,
does
no one
now.
brings
The perk
Iron Will
sucks,
anymore.
But
yeah.
But
solid
even,
fashion.
even when it was still like pre-nerf, they wouldn't bring it. I don't know. I don't feel super strongly on Jane, but I'm happy with her in the middle somewhere.
I would put her between Dwight and David.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Why not?
she's usually solid if nothing else. I have seen really cracked Jane. She's very.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think she's played that much. She's not very popular. I will go whole streams without seeing her sometimes.
Yeah.
But
And
when
sometimes
you her-
you'll get a Jane, she'll be terrible, and sometimes you'll get a Jane, she'll be brilliant, and then most of the time it's just
pretty good.
another
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
sure.
okay with that. Yeah.
I wish we had a stronger
No.
opinion about Jane. I think more people should play Jane.
She has great cosmetics.
She does.
Another one.
She's
Another
got the coolest
one.
glasses.
She does, especially that new one.
With the long gloves.
Yeah, that's one way to characterize it. Yeah.
I'm being polite.
That's
Okay,
rare for you,
speaking-
Gary. So
Speaking of big, dumb, and loud.
oh, am I gonna? You think I'm gonna debate
for the
that?
audio
No.
for the audio listeners? Doug is looking a little upset.
That's not true. You're making things up. Spotify and Apple deserve better. That's a lie. I'm on board with Big Dumb and Loud. I can't call Jeff and Tapp Big Dumb and Loud and be like, just because I main Ash, be like, well, he's not necessarily Big Dumb and Loud.
Great. So we're already looking at around C tier. It's good to know.
Could be even D tier.
I was gonna say, like, I would
push for D. I have kept track of this because for a long time as killer, I'd be like, I've never played against a good Ash. It was like the last holdout for me was like, I've never seen a good Ash. And just a few months ago, I played against somebody that I was like, I think this might be the first good Ash I've ever played against or with. And they ended up like looping me for a long time and escaping. So only ever played against one good Ash ever. Other than that, they have been very disappointing and very Bill-like.
I've never really seen a good Ash. I was in a tournament just the other day, and they brought self-care.
And bite the bullet. It almost worked. It almost worked.
Wait,
that close?
Is the Ash you're talking about Doug?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna say this. About Ash. I think that Ash probably has the highest percentage of killer mains that play them. Like, I think that's the survivor that a lot of killer mains play, because a lot of killer mains maybe tend to lean more into like the horror franchise, horror licenses. You know, they're playing a lot of licensed killer. I don't know. I think that a lot of I've known most of the Ash mains I've known are killer mains that also play Ash as survivor, and that's my story, right? But I would agree that your average Ash player, you don't expect a lot, and kind of like you said, Bill-esque. They'll sit on a gen while you're on hook, right? Yeah. They won't take hits. They'll hide a lot. Yeah. I see Ash's DC semi-frequently.
All I'm hearing is this is why killer mains play killer. When they play survivor,
maybe
they're a killer main for a reason.
I'm not going to argue that either. I'm
just trying to stir this pot and having a argument.
I know you are, and I'm just not giving you what you want. I'm attacking by defending.
Prince, yeah, we watch what he wants.
So I am okay with bottom C or high D, and yes, I do main Ash Williams, and I do consider myself to be a better survivor than that. But
yeah.
You're good.
Yeah,
especially lately.
You're a very good looper.
I wasn't looking for comments, but thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Let's I would argue Haddie.
Do you trust Ash more than Meg?
I would argue.
Yeah, I'm happy.
This is still high D under Meg.
Yeah.
I would.
There's gonna be more D survivors.
As much
as
I
will say, I do love seeing Ash with a puppet. When he has a little puppet on his hand, I'm like, I'm happy. Even if he's going to be disappointing, the puppet hand cosmetic does make me happy.
You know, I think the puppet hand Ashes are probably the worst. So
yeah, they are. They are.
Like them, but
no. It's just, I like the cosmetic, but they are worse.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Cool.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah, we're doing well so far.
I think. Well, we'll see. Nancy Wheeler from Stranger Things.
S. Top of S.
Thank you. S.
She's the nurse of survivors.
Okay, good. Yeah, she's so nasty. Always.
Yeah.
Like Nancy's are just always good.
It's like it happened. I noticed the switch because when Stranger Things DLC was new, Nancy's kind of had that thing where it was like the cute girl thing. So like a bunch of bad Nancys were out there. But as time has gone on, and especially since Stranger Things DLC got pulled from the store, Nancy players now are almost guaranteed to be cracked.
I'm pretty sure she's bugged and a little bit faster than all the rest of the survivors.
Maybe. It's possible. That's how she plays, for sure. Like, I would say that the likelihood of running into a bad Nancy is like the likelihood of running into a good Bill. Like,
no. Yeah,
I'm sure they're out there. They're out there, but like,
yeah,
I don't see them like ever. So yeah, that was an easy one. Do we think she's better?
Oh yeah, she's better.
I think she's better than Ace. I see more bad aces than Nancy.
I think I will struggle to see a survivor going above Nancy.
Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, that's easier. Yeah. I think Nancy's going to be the queen of S tier, the queen of the tier list. I've almost probably the floor for Nancy players is like high B. You know what I mean? Like probably some of the worst Nancys I've played against are still like high B tier survivors.
Yep.
In general, every now and then there's like a D tier Nancy, but
I don't dodge lobbies. I've never seen this, but if I saw 4 Nancys in a lobby, I would dodge it.
I'm
like, I'm not doing this.
And I would say too, if it's a Prestige 3 Nancy, you definitely need to watch out.
What about P100? P100 Nancy. P100
Sorry,
Nancy just.
I know, it's like the cosmetic, the bloody cosmetic.
Is it P6 now to get those? It's P6.
P9.
Oh yeah, sure. I was using the old terminology.
Yeah.
It's
if it's
six,
a P100 Nancy, just uninstall the game. You're done.
Yeah, Nancy is definitely. She's terrifying. Okay, good. Yep. We agree on that.
Now we go from Nancy to Steve.
Steve the Hare Harrington, also from Stranger Things. Now, interestingly, I would say Steve's kind of gone. He hasn't grown like Nancy has since release.
Flourished. Hasn't refined like a fine wine. Gone the opposite way.
You guys remember?
Curdled like milk.
You guys remember we were talking about Ace, and I was like, "There's no one on my team I count on for a flashlight save like Ace." There is no one on my team that I would count on to fuck up an easy flashlight save like a Steve. Like he just, if Steve was a statement, it's missing a flashlight save. Yeah. He's not doing.
Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen a Steve succeed at a flashlight save.
Real. He spends the entire game chasing around the killer, trying to make a flashlight save, and then missing it.
But what is cute is that you often see a Steve and a Nancy together, and the Nancy will be good, and the Steve is like following them around.
The Nancy will be saving the Steve's ass with a flashlight save or a pallet stun or something. Yeah,
it's like Steve is a Nancy in training. Once they get to a point of being able to use the flashlight, they go, "Okay, now you can play Nancy."
And
that's how you get the Nancy duos.
That's the training program is to play Steve Harrington first, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So I would see him somewhere around the same level as Jake.
I trust Jake more than Steve for sure.
Me too. Absolutely. I think Steve kind of belongs at bottom of C tier.
I would argue below Feng maybe. Because I think that I've seen more solid above average Steves than I do Tapps. Sadly, because I love Tapp and I don't necessarily love Steve. But just for overall player quality, I think if I have to choose between a Tapp or a Steve, I'm taking a Tapp.
Yeah, I could do.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just weighing out my thing. Would I take a Feng or would I take Steve? And I think I'd take the Steve. So I think I
would take a Feng on average.
I'd say on average too. You're just more likely to hit that head.
I just think it's interesting. We're in the same area. Well, it's just like there's one between each of them where we put them on the tier list.
Feng Min will sometimes get a flashlight save.
Or Sabo. We talked about how good she is at Sabo.
It's just because, like, since you brought the DC argument, Steve's not DCing.
No, but he should.
As often.
Yeah, he deserves to. He deserves to with that flashlight attempt, I'll tell you what.
We might be better off, but...
I'd happily put him between Feng and Tapp.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think I like him there.
And now we're going to get to our first legendary cosmetic. For Steve, this is Jonathan Byers. Possibly the most blood-curdling hook scream in the game, by the way.
Fighting with Lisa and Cybil, probably.
Yeah. Sounds like
he does have one of the best coughs in the game, though, when he's sick. Because he coughs like a dude bro laughing.
Do we think that Jonathan's are better than Steve's or worse?
Way worse.
Yeah, I would say
way worse. Yeah. I think Jonathan's D tier for sure.
I think too.
I've never seen an insane Jonathan player. I guess I have a lot of personal bias against Jonathan, so this is probably coming through in my assessment. Maybe I should even take myself out so that we can maintain our journalistic
I was about to say,
integrity.
I think I play worse when I play Jonathan.
Yeah, I think
there's something about him that makes you worse at the game.
You're like a worse person if you play Jonathan.
Yeah, I think Jonathan's got to be D tier for me. Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
Below Meg?
Yep.
Yeah. I would say below Meg. Ash and Bill
Below
are
Ash.
a tough one.
It's got to be below Ash for me too.
Below
I'll take. I trust a Jonathan more than a Bill, but I still, if I'm flipping coins, there's like 4 people who play Jonathan. They're all bad in my opinion. I mean, maybe there's like one that's good. And again, I'm not discounting that there's one good one out there.
Sinnoh's getting very upset right now. Sinnoh's getting very upset.
Good.
Yeah, that's the whole point, Gary.
I can live with this. I can accept it.
Thank you. This makes me feel the Jeff situation a lot easier for me. If you guys are into this, so.
The Jeff
that.
situation.
That's what we'll be known as from now on. We talk like
The Jeff
20
incident.
20 seasons in the future. Like, do you remember the Jeff incident? Ooh.
Yui.
This might be hard. I don't know what you guys are gonna think. We haven't talked. One thing that we should mention: we haven't talked about this at all. We intentionally didn't talk about this amongst ourselves before the podcast, so that this would all be like.
It's always a nice surprise when like Bill D tier, and I was like, yeah, D tier.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just throw out an S tier suggestion right out of the gate and see what you guys think about that.
I was gonna say A.
I was going to
But I'd like to hear your argument for S tier.
I just think
we're all
low
on the
S.
same page of positive.
Low S because again, I can't think of the last bad Yui I played against. And Yuis are like good Nias. They are flashbang users. They are flashlight users. They are altruism. Like I always get breakout Yuis that are like insane at taking hits and getting people to wiggle off. Like they're really, really solid altruistic players. They're not scared of gens. They can almost always loop decent, and they go for wiggle grasp escapes.
Let me ask you this. So with Nancy and Ace, they're like the survivors of Killer Nightmares. Would you say Yui is in that collection for you? Where you're like, oh god, it's
if I see 3 to 4 Yuis, if I see 2 Yuis, if I see a P100 Yui, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a game. On both sides, I do. I think she's below Ace and Nancy. I do. I think that there are.
Yeah.
But she's nowhere like she's not an Ace player.
But I think she's above Adam, Nia, Laurie, and Quentin, and I think she's enough above to warrant another tier. I won't throw a fit if you guys want to put her at the queen of A. If you try and put anybody before her at A, though, we're gonna have words. Because
I would see her as the top of A personally.
I would see her as top of A too. Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to put an S because I don't automatically see a Yui like I do with Nancy and Ace and be like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't like fear a Yui. I
don't
think I'm going to be annoyed.
She's probably
I guess
but
you guys just don't get the Yuis I get on both sides. I guess because she's a menace and she's been to me like I've considered her like before she was Nancy to me before Nancy was Nancy to me. Like she was just like I always ran into nasty Yuis, but
I think Yuis are good, but
not great.
They've not left an impact on me to the point where I'm like, oh god, it's a Yui. Whereas when I see an Ace with a flashlight or Nancy full stop, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, Yuis don't bring the flashlights; they bring the flash bangs, man. I'm telling you, they're aggressive. They're aggressive survivors. They play hard and fast, and I love them. I love facing them, and I love having them on my team. But
yeah, I like having them on my team. I would say top of A, but I wouldn't be like.
One.
I wouldn't be upset.
I don't think I'm getting help here, so that's all right. I'll accept top of A.
I'm just trying to think of. You know what? I might put her in low S. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
I can live with that.
Like, it's true. I feel like
she's a good survivor.
I feel like she's not quite as nightmare-inducing as Nancy or Ace, but I do fear Yui more than Adam or Nia on the average. So I would say, I'd say S is fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I guess I'm receiving a direct message. I'm not allowed to talk for the rest of the podcast. Okay. Cool, man. I'm just going to kick back.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to read that out, Doug.
This is why I'm a recurring guest and not a co-host. I can never get the cues right.
Zarina. So, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of strong feelings on Zarina players. They're just kind of middling for me. I don't find them to be cracked. I don't find them to be bad. They're just kind of in the middle. So
I think they're usually just kind of dull.
Weird. This is weird.
there's just like they don't do anything impressive in the game. They usually don't talk in a post game.
See,
They're usually kind of quiet.
Yeah,
What's
they don't-
cool?
Players. Yeah.
what's cool
They'll bring a
is
flashlight, but they won't do anything with it.
I think I have a different experience and opinion, but I think we're gonna end up exactly where we all want to be, anyways. Like, Zarina reminds me a lot of a better version of Kate. Like, I usually have Zarinas that are they are a little bit egocentric, they are a little bit cocky, and they're usually good, like pretty good. Like, I was gonna say bottom A, middle B, somewhere in that range, because like I get a lot of juicer Zarinas, and maybe it's just the time I play, and you know, I don't know, I get good runners, but they are salty. I get a lot of salty Zarinas, or like DCs, like they like the DC.
They are similar to Kate's, but less mean girl.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't get much out of them.
See, that's
Yeah,
different. I see. Them,
I wish they would argue with me in post games. You know me, Doug. I love winding people up in post games chat.
It's your favorite thing.
Zarina's just like drawing blood from a stone.
Zarina's like the most likely survivor, I would say. I get to the endgame screen and I check match details to see if they're still connected, and they aren't.
Yeah, they left immediately. They're on to the next one. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you boys think?
I mean, I'm thinking mid B. You know, I would put her above Kate.
Yeah.
Just for the attitude alone. Because they are pretty similar.
Think I would agree to put them above Kate just because I feel like they'll stick to gens a little more.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, but they're not like.
I think above David too.
Ooh, I'll allow it, but I wouldn't say that.
I think that's a coin toss, mate. Either way, yeah.
David's DC less.
I just feel like
experience.
David participates more in the match.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe below David, above Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is where it's funny because, like I said, we all have different experiences, but like this is still where I would put her, even with all the experience. Yeah. I feel like the ones I play against and with are different than your guys's, but
which is how we know we've put her in the right place.
Yeah.
We did good.
Good job.
We are going to go on a string of Cheryl cosmetics, by the way, starting with the original Cheryl Mason from Silent Hill. I will say one interesting thing about Cheryl is that I used to see a lot of Cheryls. She used to be a very popular survivor back when you could do the cosmetic glitch. She was one of the most popular targets for that because all of her cosmetics are sets, linked sets. And ever since behavior has like completely fixed the cosmetic glitch, I have not seen Cheryl as often.
No more Gerald, so no more Cheryl.
Yeah. But we are, so just to be clear, we are talking about like non-glitched Cheryls, just they go, you know, just the plain Cheryl or bloody or whatever.
I will say Cheryls tend to be quite good at the game. Again, like when I picture a Cheryl, there's a flashlight in their hands. They're going for saves. They're trying to be in your face a little bit. And
they know how to use it, right?
Yeah, they're good with a flashlight.
They're doing gens, they're doing like, runs.
They're kind of similar to Nia, but they're not as loud about it, and they're better at it.
Yeah,
I would say Cheryl's are better than Nia's overall.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Yeah,
I would say maybe not as dependable as Adam, but sometimes they can be better and sometimes worse. So it's really hard. Like I think Adam's slightly more dependable to get to do what a survivor needs to do, but Cheryl is a better Nia.
See, I would put Cheryl top of A.
Which I would be completely fine with, because, as I say, sometimes she's, more effective than an Adam, but sometimes less. It really depends on the killer.
I've seen more insane Cheryl players than I've seen insane Adam players.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that could also be because there's a lot more Cheryl players than there are Adams.
I've definitely said, ugh, this Cheryl, while I'm playing killer, more often than I've been like, ugh, this Adam.
I think that alone would say that she's better than Adam, because I think you're right in that. We've all had Is Cheryl S tier?
That's the next topic I was going to bring up. Is she S tier?
I think she might be.
I feel like she might be.
I think she might be above Yui.
Because honestly, whenever I think of this is a cracked team, I usually have Nancy and Ace in there for sure, but Cheryl's usually in there too.
Yeah, I would say Cheryl's above Yui.
I'm not going to argue against it. Yeah, because, like, again, if I have to ask, like, Yuis are usually really, really good S-tier survivors, but, like, the great Nancy's, or sorry, the great Cheryls, I think are better than the great Yuis. Like,
it's true. I would put
I'm okay.
her
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
just below Ace in S tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we're filling out S tier. Look at us.
Yeah, this is nice. Usually we're fighting at D tier.
This is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't. We've agreed on D tier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl's are scary players. Definitely. And I think it helps that like a lot of the cosmetic glitchers kind of like once they couldn't glitcher, they kind of moved on to someone else. So like now you kind of got the Nancy effect a little bit where like the true Cheryl mains are on her now. Now we got some legendary ones to talk about. Cybil, which is a legendary skin for Cheryl.
Fantastic scream. One of the best in the game.
Yeah, great scream. I haven't been particularly impressed by Cybil players. I rarely ever see them.
They are quite rare.
Very rare. Like I probably see Cybil players less than anyone else that we've ranked so far.
Agreed. 100%.
It might be one of the rarer. Full stop. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep. I mean, this one's gonna be hard for me. I don't even know how to rank them because I just see them so infrequently. Right?
When I do see Cybils, I will say they tend to be kind of corner healers as well.
I'll take your word for
weirdly.
it.
They are a bit scared, which is really weird because like Cheryl's obviously like such a good survivor and they're like in your face. Cybils tend to not be.
And Cybil's a more like aggressive character in the Silent Hill series than Cheryl is. So you would think it's like, well, why are you playing Cybil? It's kind of weird, you know. She's an officer of the law as well.
I think I'd put her in C somewhere.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything from Cybil players that makes me go like, they're great, but they're just kind of nothing most of the time.
So we think between Feng and Steve, maybe? What do we think?
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I like that idea.
I don't want to put her below Steve because Steve's are like...
He's missing a flashlight save right now.
yeah. Somewhere in the world right now, a Steve is missing a flashlight save.
100%. Yeah.
Lisa Garland, another legendary cosmetic for Cheryl. This is the nurse, for anyone that's unfamiliar with the name.
Often referred to as Nurse Cheryl.
Yeah, incorrectly. Nurse Cheryl, yep. I would say Nurse Cheryl players tend to be better than Cybil players.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. I don't know if I could put them in A, but I could put them in B. I find that Lisa players tend to be very like look at me players, but
they will DC as well.
Yeah.
Lisa players will DC.
Yes, they will.
I don't have a strong opinion. I don't see enough. I'm gonna leave it up to you two. I don't see her enough. I'm just kind of like, it's one of those like I don't even have any like strong memories of ever playing with her against Elisa. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like,
I'm kind of comfortable where she is. Maybe even top of C.
Yeah, like, I could put her top of C. Yeah, she's definitely better than Cybil, but yeah, too inconsistent to really put her any higher, I think. James Sunderland, the last of the legendary skins. For some reason, this list doesn't have Alessa, which is fine because she's probably even rarer than Cybil, so I wouldn't even know.
Oh yeah, I even noticed she was missing.
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't think the tier list maker did either.
Yeah.
That's why they're not here. Anyway, James Sunderland, the male skin for Cheryl. I'll be honest, I've never once in my life had a James teammate that I've been impressed by.
I can only think of Gerald.
Yep.
And they are fun havers like Jake, but since Gerald's gone, I don't think I've seen a James.
Yep. He's just Gerald to me. And then I think I've seen one within the last like few weeks. I just randomly had one in a match, and I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you a single thing he did.
Yeah, that's what I may have had a James. I don't remember them.
Like, is there a tier below D, which is just like
the forgotten tier?
Yeah, it's like it's not good or bad. It's just purgatory for survivors that don't get played.
Well, we could make one. We could make it.
Oh.
Let's just make a question mark tier.
Question mark and just James. Or you can just call it the James tier.
Yeah, just put the James tier.
Oh wait, no, sorry. There we go. D, and this is James. There we go. We'll put James.
Yeah,
because we don't. He makes you feel nothing. He's water. He's room temperature water.
He's tap water. Yeah.
Okay,
Poor
James. Sorry,
Poor
bud.
James. Okay. Now we're finally done with Cheryl's many cosmetics. Felix. Does he qualify as big, dumb, and loud?
Well, I know this is like Doug's favorite Survivor, so I think Doug should take.
Gary.
Take the lead.
Doug has a thing.
Not now. I fucking hate Felix. All right, he is by far and away of all the killers in the game, or all the characters in the game, my least favorite. I hate him. I hate the way he looks. I hate the way he sounds. I hate the way he is. I hate his backstory.
His new T-shirt
his
stinks.
His new T-shirt makes him look weird, which is good. Good. Nobody buy it. Make him delete the character. No, I hate him. That being said, I don't think that people that play him are like offensively bad by any means. I just feel like he's the Kate of male survivors, right? He's just, I feel like a lot of times they have a shitty attitude. They DC, they complain, they type of post game chats. Like they're really offensive too. Because I shit on Felix all stream. I'm just complaining about it, and the Felix mains always have something to say back. All right.
Oh yeah.
People like Felix a lot.
I think he's got kind of that similar problem to Kate of like they're a hot survivor and there's a lot of people that are playing them because they're like, wow, they're hot. I think a lot of the David mains moved on to Felix.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah, I'd agree too. Which is probably why you saw an uptick in performance in Felix's, because the old Davids were cracked and then they switched to Felix and now they're cracked. And I don't hate him because he's attractive, because I'm good friends with you guys. And so if I hated attractive dudes, I wouldn't be your guys' friends. Right?
You're still gonna be a guest, but I appreciate it.
You're still a recurring guest, but you know what? Plus 1 point.
All right, perfect.
But keep that coming.
Yeah,
I just think
chink in the armor.
I will say that because of journalistic integrity, I will not be casting a vote, because I cannot give you an unbiased vote on Felix, because I would have another tier that said delete Felix.
I can take your feedback, and I think we can use it quite well, because I agree with near enough everything you said, except for like the pure hatred for him, because I don't hate him. But I do think he is kind of middling. I think he's quite similar to Kate, and I think actually he's in the perfect place where he is. I don't think he's as bad as like if I see a Felix, they're gonna do okay. They might DC, they might not. They're probably gonna be whiny in the post game. I think I had a Felix. A Felix I remember was accusing a Pyramid Head of wall hacks. And it was just ludicrous. And
let me guess, the Pyramid Head was running I'm all ears.
Yeah, they're running something. They could see his aura. They like
floods of rage or something. Yeah.
So they just took him down. He was Leary's. He was very upset in the post game. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'd put Felix, is right there. How about you, John?
I'm fine with it. I think he's kind of similar to Kate, like we've been saying, where like he's proficient at the game, just kind of has a stinky attitude, and not a stunner of a teammate like a Cheryl or an Ace, but he's not a Steve, so I think low B is fine.
I will say the reason that I'm happy with him being behind Kate is because if I picture a Felix, it's him missing a skill check on a generator. Which is not a good image.
Yeah. All right. We'll just stick Felix there.
Yeah.
Are you happy, Doug?
No, but I told you guys, because of journalistic integrity, I wouldn't be saying anything, and I meant it.
Okay.
So
we'll move on to the next character, which is Elodie. So, okay. Elodie, I would say, are above average players usually. I would argue. I wouldn't say that they're like cracked or really good, but I would say that they're above average.
Interesting, because I'd argue that they're cracked. I'd argue that Elodie's on average or absolutely at least A tier, and maybe even low S. Like, Elodie's another one of the lesser played survivors, but when you get one, for me as a killer, I'll be like, okay, I got to keep an eye on this one. This might be my drop chase in the first chase kind of person. Like I
I know that feeling, because when I see an Elodie, I do think the same thing. But I don't recall ever being right to be worried.
Weird.
I think Elodie is a rare survivor to see, which is why we get that initial fear. And they are definitely above average. But I would put them around Quentin level.
Yeah. I was thinking high B, low A is what I was thinking.
I definitely think that she's got to be over Dwight. So right off the bat, I think we talked about A, and then we just start to debate whether she's bottom of A or middle of A. It would be my opinion.
I think I would put her above Quentin. I don't think Elodie's are as good at looping as Laurie's.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I would say that
with.
too. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll put her there. We gotta stop agreeing.
Yeah, look at us. We're two on the same page.
There's nothing wrong with agreeing on stuff.
This will be.
We're all smart.
We want engagement. We want controversy.
Quick, let's lie.
I mean,
quick, let's lie.
You know what? I think Elodie is D tier. D tier. I mean, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Yun-Jin.
So this is mine and John's main survivor.
That's right.
Well, mine's a version.
Gotta be.
Mine's Vom-Jin.
Now, if I had it my way, I'd be like S tier automatically. But I'm gonna try to remain impartial. I think, Gary, as Yun-Jin mains, we should let Doug take the lead on this one.
Yeah. Also, I am also aware that I wouldn't put myself in S tier when I'm playing. Like, my teammates should not rely on me. So,
true.
But Doug, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to open by saying I willingly placed my main in D tier, and I accepted you guys placing Felix in B tier. So I really appreciate this opportunity to start off with your main, because you know I'm going to be impartial. And I would honestly put her in A tier. Probably like bottom of A tier, maybe top of B tier. I definitely trust the Yun-Jin more than a Dwight. So there we go. We're right out of the bat. I think I'm bumping her up into A tier. And then she kind of gets into that fair to midland A tier survivor area with like Quentin and Elodie. And I mean, I like Elodie a lot more than you guys do. So I don't know, maybe leave her out. But I think I get cracked Yun-Jins on my team. And again, she seems very altruistic. I don't see a lot of like super like wiggle grasp and ski. I don't see a lot of flashlight Yun-Jins. Like a lot of breakout Yun-Jins or Sabo Yun-Jins, but like core getting saves, healing people up. I don't see a lot of booning Yun-Jins who are like running around wasting time booning. Like they're very typically very efficient players. They're doing gens, they're making saves, they're doing heals. They'll take hits at end game. Yeah. They'll trade hook states. You know,
John, just enjoy these compliments.
Yeah.
You're too much, right?
I'm just being real. I'm being honest. I mean, it'd be really easy for me after we put my main in D to be like, yours main goes in D too. But no, she's a really solid survivor. I mean, overall.
Yeah.
Hard to argue. Because again, I feel like Dwight is like the anchor there at B tier. Like I know I trust Yun-Jins and I know I fear Yun-Jins more than Dwight's. So
yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I think they are very focused. Yun-Jins are playing the game. They will do gens. They will get unhooks. They will do everything they need to win. I think they kind of want to, because like, and I'm partially talking about myself. I'm playing to escape. I will leave teammates if need be, and I think that's kind of Yun-Jin's generally. They're not as good on the whole. I wouldn't say they're as good as Laurie still though, but.
I mean, okay, so I think we're all on the same page that they're in A tier at least.
Yep.
I do kind of think of Yun-Jins, and I've always kind of thought of Yun-Jins this way, as they're like worse Yuis, slightly worse Yuis. They kind of have the same, play-oriented style, but they're not quite as consistent with it. So I would put them maybe mid-A. And I'm having trouble.
I would maybe say...
Man, this might kind of sound crazy. I've kind of talked myself into it more and more, but I honestly think I trust Yun-Jins more than Nia's on average.
Ooh.
So maybe like near the top of
I mean, maybe I've been focusing too much on the Laurie, but you're right. Nia is like not as dependable as like a Yun-Jin.
Yeah.
And I will say, Yun-Jin, if you are looking for a random to dress the same way you are, to like look as fashionable, it's Yun-Jin, right? They'll always
agreeable,
change.
very very agreeable.
We've tested it in the past.
Yun-Jins are very cosmetic focused, I have noticed. Yeah, which I appreciate in a teammate, definitely. Yeah, so do we go over Nia or under Nia?
I'd argue absolutely over Nia.
Over Nia, wow.
See, it's just making me question, is Laurie too low? Should Laurie be above Nia?
Yeah, I think we should bump Laurie up.
I think we should bump Laurie up too, above Nia. Yeah. I think having Nia slightly higher earlier made sense, but now that A is getting populated more, I think Nia moves down to kind of mid A out of high A. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Cool.
Yun-Jin and Laurie, for me, you could swap them either way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I'm happy with this too, actually.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, do we put Elodie over Nia as well? But you guys didn't seem strong enough in your opinions on Elodie for me to make that case, so I think I'm gonna let it go.
I think the toxic Nia being a thing that exists puts her above Elodie for me.
Yeah.
There's no toxic Elodie mains that are bullying killers.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic and bullying, those words are harsh, man. Those are hard words for me to get behind, Gary. Considering what we're talking about, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Jill Valentine from Resident Evil.
Is that where she's from? I've always wondered.
Wait, they made a game about DBD character Jill Valentine called Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should check it out sometime.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I hope they make a Netflix series.
Yeah. Or a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a whole series would be good. Jill players.
They're a tough one. They're a little bit all over the place.
They are all over the place.
I will say I have never played against an amazing Jill. I've never experienced a Jill where I was like, wow, this is an insane player.
Yeah, by all over the place, I mean they're between high B and low C.
I think they have a lower ceiling, but they also have kind of a higher floor.
Yeah, maybe just like they're just a decent survivor, an average.
Do you know what's disappointing about Jill?
They're fine.
They never bring flashbang, and if they do, they don't use it.
Yeah. I don't remember ever getting any sort of Wigglegrass escape that was from a Jill Valentine.
Yeah.
No flashlight saves, no flashbangs. I'm sure I have, but just never committed to memory because it was a Jill and.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'd feel more comfortable with a Jill than I do a Kate.
As long as it's above Felix, I'm good.
Oh yeah, that's why I'd be above Jill and Kate. Yeah. That's where I would. Above Kate and.
I think I like Felix. That because I trust Jill more than Kate, but definitely trust Zarina more than Jill. So
yeah, definitely. That's where I'm at too. Yeah. Okay,
perfect.
That works.
This is a very balanced tier list so far, by the way.
It is. We're doing a great job.
We're really getting analytical into this. I really like it. Now, we're not enough emotion because we keep on the journalistic integrity. We keep like backing down on emotion. Maybe we're getting a little too serious. Are we taking the fun too seriously?
We start.
That is our thing.
We start off the rating by being like, no, they're definitely C tier, and then we're just like, that's fine. We can put them in D tier. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's because like we start to see once you've got it more populated, you can kind of see where everyone's coming from. So you're like, yeah, that makes sense for them to be there. They're not as good as this Survivor. Like there's a lot more to compare to. Whereas at the first, it's like we've just got Dwight.
Yeah.
Who has maintained his rock at the top of B?
Yeah, he's not been shaken at all.
King of
Hasn't
B
even been
tier.
threatened.
Now, Jill has a legendary skin. Claire Redfield, also from Resident Evil, and she's played quite a bit less than Jill.
Yeah.
Because Claire's one of those ones where you notice and you go, oh, there's a Claire.
Are Claire players worse than Jill players, or better?
I would say no. They're very similar, but I think I'm happier with a Claire.
I'd go further and say exactly the same. So as long as it's really close, I don't care. Like they're almost exactly the same. I very rarely see Claire. The
same, yeah.
They don't wow me. They don't piss me off. They're just there. They're just Claire. There's Claire.
There's Claire.
So
Okay, so above Kate but below Jill, maybe for Claire.
Yeah, I
And B
mean, I
tier.
think you could swap Jill and Claire around either or.
Just kind of the same. What if we put her in the James tier? Okay. Oh, Leon Kennedy, one of my favorite video game characters.
I had the most frustrating game with a Leon the other day on the Shattered Square. He was just going the long way round for unhooks, like round the edge of the map, not doing generators, and that's Leon to me.
We have
If there's
had
one
similar experiences with Leon.
Yeah,
Leon
one survivor you can
is-
rely on to just not help.
Leon is so stupid. He is the Dead by Daylight himbo. The Dead by Daylight himbo is Leon S. Kennedy. All right, this guy. And when Gary said earlier, I don't think anybody's worse than Bill. I was like, wait till we talk about Leon.
no, we're up. Like,
That dude, Leon is the survivor on your team that you're going to be the most likely to ask, is that actually a bot or is this a real person controlling this character? Like, Leon, I have never in my life seen a great Leon player. I don't know if I've ever in my life seen a good Leon player. They're just, and I love them. They're great. They're like a little puppy who's like learning how to fetch for the first time. They're like, okay, now this is what I do. I pick it up, I walk back. Like,
it does feel like
they're
Leon, because it's his first day on the job. That joke, it's just so applicable to every Leon you bump into.
Yeah.
And honestly, I get more angry at a Leon than I do a Bill. It's upsetting. It could be just love the character, but
Leon is the character in the game that I've probably said their name in an angry voice more times than any of the rest of them. Like, Leon, what are you doing? Don't hook me, Leon! The killer's right there! Probably said that more than any other character in the game.
All I keep coming back to is this like missed flashbang saves and like jumping into a locker mid chase and going in the unhook. He's unhooking,
like,
injured, and then goes down, but then doesn't DC. He's like, oh, I'll get him next time. Like he's this.
Oh shucks.
Yeah, shucks. Like he's wholesome. It's not his fault, but he sucks.
The game's over, but he's
bad.
still hanging on the hook to deny you the hatch because he still thinks you're going to come for the save when there's no point.
Yeah.
Every Leon is like a fresh install player.
Yeah. There was a time where I considered maining Leon, and I would literally get people dodging my lobbies because I was playing Leon. They're like, I'm not going to play with the Leon. Like, people actively avoid Leon players. And it's good if you want to set your expectations low, if you're listening and you're like, I'm trying to get into DBD, just play Leon. It's what they're going to expect as a brand new player. So you're good.
So
is he worse than Bill?
Yep.
He's worse than Bill, I would say.
Bill's a dick, and Leon's just a wholesome idiot. Like,
no, Bill's not a dick. He's useless. He's not vindictive of his uselessness.
I don't know, man. I've had more toxic Bills.
Earlier?
I've had more toxic Bills than toxic Leons. That's for sure.
Yeah, true.
I don't think I've ever had a negative interaction with a Leon player, except for all the.
I've definitely shouted at Leon.
Except for all the plays that he's made, but interpersonally.
Bill will curse you out in the post game chat, and Leon will say like, "Well, that wasn't very fun."
Where's Ada?
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a new low set here. I didn't know if we would get below Bill, but yeah, we did.
Don't forget about James. He's got a whole tier.
Look at James. Yeah,
I love that James got his own tier. That's so good.
He's in the other world tier. He's in another dimension. He can't quite communicate with the other tiers.
He's sat there being like, "It's good to be the king of James tier."
Yeah, King James. That's me. Okay. Now, Leon has a legendary skin, Chris Redfield. And I'm just going to put him in A tier, not because I think he belongs there, but
so
just
we
so
can
that
see him, yeah.
the video audience can see him, because B and C are getting very populated.
Chris is better than Leon.
Weirdly, when Leon players play as Chris, they
It's
get
like
better.
it's like Leon evolves at a certain point, and they become a Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we put him in between Jill and Claire? Like, he's like fine.
I
He's
think so.
good.
Yeah,
he's fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
He's fine. I trust him more than a Claire, but less than a Jill. But like,
honestly, I think I'd put him above Jill.
Would you? I wouldn't argue. He's definitely not.
Like, Jill's kind of just around, whereas Chris is running at you for the unhook. Chris is a man on a mission. He's got boulders to punch.
He punches boulders. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah. So Makes sense.
Chris players do tend to be more well-meaning. Yeah. Which counts for a lot in a teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see any reason not to have them.
I mean, Leon's a well-meaning. They're
Felix.
just really bad at it.
Yeah.
For our audio-only listeners, Felix has been pushed out of frame. Much to
And
Doug's
Doug is
happy
very upset.
happiness.
That's not true. Stop lying to our audio-only people.
He's putting 2 thumbs up. He's very smiley.
Thank you for the honesty.
You're very welcome, best friend Doug.
Journalistic integrity. That's the key phrase.
That's what this. That's our new tagline for the podcast.
Yes. As journalists, we have integrity to uphold.
Possibly the most, potentially the most controversial one. Mikaela Reed. The Boon Queen herself. Now, I would like to go to bat for Mikaela real quick.
Okay.
Because I think Mikaela players, when she was new, she was a D tier survivor.
Okay,
Possibly around where Leon and Bill are. However, I have noticed that a lot of the Mikaela mains from back then have moved on to the latest cute girl, and the Mikaela general population has improved as a result. Not saying she's amazing or anything now.
Okay.
But she is much better than she used to be, and I would argue not D tier material.
I agree.
Okay. I'm not going to argue D tier, but I'm going to say everything you said I agree with. Absolutely. Okay. When she started out, she was low D.
Yeah.
And a lot of those low D players have moved on. But with that being said, there is still a very high density of boon-focused players. Like the 2 people are on a hook and they're booning.
Yeah.
Endgame collapse
definitely.
and they're booning. It's a legion or a plague and they're booning. Like that's always Mikaela. It's always Mikaela. So she has to be docked for that. Okay.
No,
that has to
definitely.
be a thing.
And I'm going to throw in as well, just as a little tidbit. They're quite keen to DC as well.
Mikaela players?
I can see that. Yep,
they do kind of have that quality to them. I won't deny it.
So I would vote that she is C tier above. It's hard to put me. I want to say above Jeff because but I also don't know if I trust her more than Feng or Jake. I just let you guys put Jeff in a bad spot. That's the thing.
See, I'd put her between Feng and Cybil.
I'm okay with that if we can have it on record again that I don't like where Jeff's at. Because I trust Mikaela over Jeff, but not the rest of them.
I would put Mikaela over Jeff personally. I do have a higher opinion of Mikaela than I think you two do. I do agree that she is the most likely survivor to be booning when 2 people are on the hook and the killer's snowballing. However, aside from those players, I do find the average Mikaela to be okay at the game.
Can we move Jeff to between Cybil and Steve? Because I trust Jeff more than Steve.
This is your two's argument here, I think. But I will say Mikaela, just to chuck in there before you start redebating Jeff, she can loop.
Yeah, it depends.
But what's the word that she's booning the wrong time?
I will say
it's a trade-off.
I will say with Mikaela, how good she is often depends on the cosmetic. I find that default hat Mikaelas tend to be the worst. And ones that have different hair, like any of her other hair, tend to be better. Those are the ones that tend to be looping. The ones with like the undercut or
the summer outfit. Those are good loopers.
Yeah, those are good loopers usually.
I love Spine Chill so much because all these people in DBD are taking shit so seriously, and you're like, if she's got the undercut cosmetics, she's literally like weighing the cosmetics.
People are learning how to like hug tech better, and we're just like, just the fashion.
They're debating all these add-ons and stuff and like gen times, and you're like, the cosmetic.
I have just noticed that usually the hat Mikaelas are the baddies.
I just love it. That wasn't a criticism. It wasn't a passive-aggressive jab. I legitimately love this. So
I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it was true.
I believe you. I agree with you.
So
I'm with you. Okay. I stand with John.
I do agree with you, Mikaela over Jeff. However, I don't know if I'm ready to move Jeff just yet. Jeff, if we put Mikaela over Jeff is getting moved down to mid-C as a result.
But he's still not more trustworthy than Jake or Feng. This is so upsetting. I don't know why I relented. What was I thinking an hour ago?
We're talking about Mikaela right now.
What if we... Okay, how about this? What if Jeff and Jake swapped?
Okay. Yep. I'll accept that. I'll accept that as...
That's fine.
And I won't bring him up again.
And then Mikaela can go between them.
Does Mikaela go under Jake? You know what? Okay. Yeah. I can handle that. Okay.
I think she's a better looper than Jake, but she is booning at the worst possible times. So...
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
This is good. This is everything I ever wanted. To move Jeff down and then move Jake up. I'm good. Let's move on.
Yeah. Actually.
Let's end the video. Let's end it here.
No, we can't end it because Jonah's next. Jonah's next.
Jonah. We talk about Doug's second main Jonah.
We get to go back to the deeds here. I quit Jonah specifically because I didn't want to be known as a Jonah. That's why I quit maining Jonah.
Why did you start maining Jonah?
Because I wanted to be different. Edgelord never works out. It doesn't. It always just ends up hurting you.
So Jonahs are bad, right? Like
yes, big, dumb, and loud. I would say.
Yeah,
is where
big, dumb, and loud.
Big, dumb, and loud.
So I'm gonna say below. Are they just
below Meg?
Yeah, but definitely below Meg. But I don't know how far below Meg.
I would say nestled between Meg and Ash.
I like that too. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
because I have played with good Jonahs, like good for D tier Jonahs, right? Like
right. Yeah,
I think I'm more impressed on average with Jonahs than Ash's and Jonathan's and.
When I think of Jonah, I think of someone who's not going to try and get a second loop with a pallet. They're just going to drop
it. Yeah. True.
they pre-throw aggressively. Like they definitely had time.
There's a lot of distance between the killer and them when they drop that pallet.
I think Jonahs are the most likely survivor to run away from a pallet before the killer starts to kick it, and then he just downs them on the way to the next tile,
Yeah. They throw the pallet, and then they just hold W and not look behind them, and then they go down. They're like, what?
How'd you catch up?
He didn't even break it. Dude.
Jonahs don't get pallet stuns.
Oh, I got bloodlusted.
Speed hacks much?
Yeah. All right. We have our fun with Jonah. We're nearing the end here. Yoichi from the ring.
You don't see Yoichis very often. Maybe a little bit more frequently since the VHS Christmas sweater, because that's a really nice jumper. It's probably my second favorite in the game.
I don't know if this... Sorry, you go ahead. Now, I have a lot to say about Yoichi somehow. So
really? Because I don't. So you take the floor.
Okay, so Yoichi is one of those survivors that was like nobody was playing them. And I recently made a schedule change. I used to play at night, and then I started playing, and now I'm playing during the day. I start early morning, 7 a.m. Pacific. But I used to start at 8 p.m. Pacific, so I was playing through the night. Out of the blue, all these insane Yoichis just started popping up. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why. But like it went from Yoichi being like not played at all to every time I saw one, I knew I was about to have the fight of my life. Like they're insane. I've got clips I could show you guys. Like I'm not just making this up. Like I've got Yoichi clips coming out the wazoo of these guys when I'm playing killer, just being insane at the game. Like I'm like accusing them of subtle hacking, like subtly, and then realizing that they had hope and just made this like insane hope resilience play to like get through a window and get a save at the end game. It's like they're nuts, man. And so I think there's like 9 of them total, and like 8 of them are insane, like comp level survivors. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. Like Yoichi's just out of the blue popped up as like, and this is only at night. I don't ever see him during the day. Like since I've switched to days, I don't think I've seen a single Yoichi.
Because I do see Yoichi myself a little bit occasionally, at least over the Christmas period with the new sweater. I've seen a few of them, and they've been fine. Like the few that I've seen, there was one that was particularly dedicated to finishing generators to their fault. Very altruistic at the end game. Like they would go in going for saves that ultimately didn't work out for them, but like they were trying. They're not bad at looping. They're not bad. I don't know if I'd be like, I'm not terrified of a Yoichi, but I would see them around Dwight level for me.
Wow, no way. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like I was thinking up in like the Laurie Yun-Jin area. Like I'm not making this up, guys. They're out there.
Yeah, but I don't doubt there's good Yoichis out there, but I've also gone against enough where it's like, they're almost good.
I've never seen a bad one. Not since not for months. Like it was like a switch happened. This is before the cosmetic. This is like months ago the switch happened. And all of a sudden every Yoichi I played was like grand finals, game 5 dream hack, Chili's gift card on the line. They're playing with their blood, sweat, and tears. Like they're just insane. I'm telling you, like A tier. Has to be A tier.
I can't see him that high. I could accept around Elodie level because I've seen some good Yoichis that do some good stuff, but I just haven't experienced a cracked one. And I do see Yoichis around, especially over Christmas, as I say, with the new sweater. I saw a bunch of them come out of the woodwork, but I didn't see any where I was like, wow.
I mean, is it really fair to judge? I'm lagging right now. Hold on.
Oh, you okay, Doug?
Yeah, it's just Comcast.
Yeah.
It's not fair to judge the character based on all the casuals who are trying out the sweater, though. I mean, these are like I'm talking about the in the pits Yoichi mains.
But I just.
And I'm just asking you to just defer to my experience and for me to trust that I have no ulterior motives here.
I don't think you have an alternative motive. I just haven't seen it. I can't I can only go off the Yoichis I've seen. I haven't seen anyone like, oh my god, it's like high MMR terrifying Survivor. It's not like Nancy level or. And they're not. When they're on my team, they're fine, but they're not like as dependable as an Adam.
I was pushing for like Yun-Jin Laurie level, and you just said you were down to go Elodie level. So it seems to me like we can hear John's take, but
yeah.
I mean, Elodie's level is close enough that I'm not going to argue that strongly.
I think I've seen Yoichi less than either of you, either as a teammate on Survivor side or as an opponent on Killer side. I just haven't seen them. Period. And that might just be, weird RNG or whatever. Maybe on Central America servers, there's just fewer Yoichi players. I don't know. I would say maybe we could just do something in between what y'all are saying, like around
above Elodie, below Nia.
Well,
above
yeah,
Elodie,
this is kind of
below
tough.
Nia?
Yeah, above Elodie, below Nia. Yeah. Could that work?
I could live with that.
Okay.
All right, I'll take it.
Cool. Yeah, because I do remember seeing a lot of bad Yoichis when Sadako came out, but it's been a long time since then. And as we all know, whoever the newest Survivor is going to have bad players.
You can't base it off that because that's just
yeah.
But
so
I don't think Yoichis are bad because there is definitely the people that play Yoichi now like Yoichi.
Yeah. Haddie. I will say I haven't played against a cracked Haddie ever, but the pool is very low, and I haven't played against Haddies that I'm like, oh, they're awful. Yeah. Or with Haddies. Yep. They're very middling for me.
Yep.
So I'm kind of happy anywhere in BC, frankly.
Same. I have no emotion about where we put Haddie. She's fine.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I would probably go. They're not usually doing bad things though. Where C tier seems to be survivors that have a bad habit. I don't think Haddies have a bad habit. They just play fine. So I would say B.
What about James?
Oh, you put it in the James.
I think James tier is actually perfect. I don't feel anything. They're there. They're
But admittedly, when I see Haddie so rarely that usually when I'm playing Killer, when I see Haddie, I'm giving her the hatch.
I just
just because it's a Haddie.
I take no joy in saying this, but I can't think of even a single play that a Haddie player has made in any of my games.
Yeah, good or
not
bad,
one that
right?
was good or bad. Yeah. I genuinely can't think of one.
They desperately need to give Haddie some new hair. I just need more cosmetic choices for her hair.
Yeah, I mean that is one reason she isn't being played as much as other survivors.
Because I really like Haddie.
Yeah.
It's hard to fight against the James tier.
I think she's James.
Can we make her the top of James tier?
The king of James tier.
No, James, not like this.
His crown is gone.
She's the best survivor in James tier. That is cracking me up.
That's really funny.
Ada Wong.
They're usually pretty good.
I would kind of liken Ada players to Kate players.
I agree.
They kind of got that mean girl aura of like they're fine at the game, but they kind of got a shitty attitude a lot of the time.
They think they're Nias, but they're still just Adas. They're new Nia attempt.
Yeah.
But
I think they are a classier Zarina. I think you remember an Ada in the match who brings a flashlight. Yeah, because look at her. She's got that lovely dress.
Well, yeah, in fashion maybe.
Yeah.
But
like, I just think Adas bring a flashlight. They don't necessarily get the save, but they try stuff with the flashlight. They're like trying to be in your face a little bit. They're not like a Kate or a Felix. I think putting Ada with them seems a bit cruel. I think Ada's are better than that.
No.
I see her as around a Zarina David level myself. I don't think. I mean, they do have shitty attitudes in a post game lobby, but I think they are also better than a Kate and Felix.
I'll accept below Zarina. Other than that, I don't want to go any further than that.
I could accept that. Top of the Resident Evil crew in B tier. I'll accept that.
Yeah, frankly, having her as top of Resident Evil is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, we're really running low on energy now.
Am I just biased because I've got a poster of Ada behind me? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Gary's taking advantage of our
they're tired
energy.
now. So Carlos, S tier.
No.
But he's such a handsome lad. S tier he goes.
Have you ever seen a good Carlos player?
Honestly, I'm going to be I'm thinking James tier again, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, though, because James tier is usually devoid of emotion, and I can remember a couple of fucking terrible Carlos players.
Yeah.
Like just unbearably bad Carlos players. Can't think of a good one.
Fair
or even
point.
an average one. But I
just remember like seeing him be like, oh, a Carlos.
Yeah. Oh, Carlos.
So like, if you guys want to, because I don't have a strong opinion on Carlos.
I mean,
he's just the only 3 I've ever seen were all terrible. So I would go D. I would go D tier.
D tier. Is he big, dumb, and loud? Is that where he goes?
He's big, dumb, and loud for sure. And he's not even nice about it, like the Ashes and the Jonas who are trying their best. He just doesn't he doesn't care.
Is he better than Jonathan?
No.
Really?
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, no.
No.
Because a Jonathan player has probably been playing the game for more than 20 minutes, I feel like, so. I do think he might be more trustworthy than a Bill. But I mean, I wouldn't even have a problem with putting him below Bill just because he's an unknown product, but like it's always bad.
I would fight against Bill, just like going below Bill because Bill makes me angry.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, Bill and Leon are towards the bottom. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, if I hadn't had specific bad games with Carlos players, I probably would have been okay with James tier. But nah, man.
You have a connection with him now.
I have a deep emotional bond.
There's an emotional scar there left by Carlos.
True.
All right. Yeah. Rebecca.
Yay!
No. I love Rebecca. Oh, I love her so much. Sorry, go ahead.
Rebecca's. Here is where all those Mikaela mains went. They went to Rebecca.
Yes. Yeah.
But she's a sweetheart, and she's trying real hard.
But
she is.
They found their place though, because I think Rebecca's not too bad.
Oh, I think she's D tier.
Ooh.
I think Rebecca's D tier.
Is this the first time that...
Here's the spice.
Yeah. I think this is the first time that me and Gary are going to have to face off against King John? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. No, Rebecca, to me, is not quite Leon levels of terrible, but similar.
Wow.
So are you saying between Bill and Leon?
I wouldn't say I would say above Bill, but below Carlos is where I would put her.
Bloody hell.
I have not.
Wow.
Okay. Wait. Actually, no. I just thought of something. Okay. Because there's two different types of Rebecca players, and you guys are gonna laugh at me again, but there's the default cosmetic Rebeccas, which are terrible. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Cowgirl Rebeccas are sometimes cracked. I have had Cowgirl Rebeccas give me a run of my life several times, but default Rebecca's never. I've never had a default Rebecca give me a loop that lasted longer than like 15 seconds as killer, maybe.
I will say I do agree with you. Cowgirl Rebeccas are good. They are dedicated to that player. And they're like, okay, I like this player and this character, and I'm going to put money into them, and I'm going to be good with them. So
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I will say you can't judge the default Rebeccas just on their ability to loop, because they do other things well.
Yeah,
Like,
they're crouching in the corner.
They will
they're
bring
self-carrying.
reassurance. They will bring reassurance, and they will go for the unhook. And they will 3-gen
down the
you.
hook.
They will 3-gen
will
you.
3
But they will
yes.
do gens. But they will be the reason you're in a 3-gen. So
I think Rebecca players are more likely to be immersed hiding in a bush than almost any other character.
Man, see, I've had different
And I
experiences.
have video
I've had-
evidence. I have video evidence on my channel of this.
I'm
Two
interested
Rebecca
because
players.
we may all be in different spots. I'm quite intrigued to hear Doug's.
I would like to put her above Jeff, but below Mikaela
Oh,
In the
okay.
C tier.
We're not that different.
in the C tier.
Doug's just trying to get Jeff
Oh.
to low C.
That's first of all true, but not my intention, not my motivation.
I thought,
agree.
no, for some reason, I thought you were going to fight for B tier.
No, I'm not
No,
that passionate about her. Like because John's right. I've watched the video. Like there are a lot of himbo or like Leon level. I literally called him himbo on accident. There are a lot of Leon level Rebeccas out there, but there's also some Cheryl level Rebeccas out there. I played against some nasty Rebeccas, some cracked Rebeccas, and that includes prestige bloodskins. That includes default Rebeccas and a lot of support main style players play Rebecca, and so I get like a lot of will make it's on Rebecca when I'm playing with her. I get a lot of people that are like big on resets. Like I don't know.
I think she could be a strong background character, but I would trap her in C because she has the bad trait which I relate to her, which is she will 3-gen you. She will do gens that are as far away from the killer as possible, no matter how bad a decision that is. She's doing Thompson House first.
She is doing Thompson House first. Yeah, on RPD, she's at the helicopter gen.
Yeah,
first,
yeah, exactly.
Every time. Yeah, she's on that one, like white on rice.
So I would see her probably around Cybil levels.
It is, I did originally say Rebecca just above Bill, but then I did almost immediately, I was like, well, Cowgirl Rebecca's are kind of an exception, and they do bring her up a bit. I just find, how bad Mikaela was on release? That's how I kind of feel about Rebecca's, though, just in general.
So that's why we put her just below Mikaela. That's fair enough.
No, but she's definitively worse than Mikaela, for sure.
I think
Like-
she's a background character. Like, she does useful things, it's just hard to tell because she, as Doug's saying, she's got will make it, she's using reassurance, she's doing things. She's not good at loops, but she's good elsewhere. She's a good support character.
I'm willing to put her above Steve, below Cybil.
I can accept that.
Fine. Fine.
Doug, fight! Fight for it!
No, it's okay. Because again, yeah, we're going with like the overall, not the exception. I have a hard time saying that I trust the random Rebecca more than a random Feng. I definitely trust her more than a Jeff, but
I think I'd put her above Cybil personally, but
I don't know enough about. I don't see enough Cybil.
I mean,
to really
Cybil
know
probably
for
belongs
sure.
in the James category, to be
Honestly,
honest.
True.
She's
Should
like
we put Cybil
edging
in the James category.
Can we put her at the bottom of James category?
Can we put her
Sure.
above James?
Sure.
Yeah. I vote.
Okay, Cybil's now in the James category for our audio-only listeners.
I like that.
And I'm happy with the way C tier looks now.
I'm just not gonna be happy until it's down below fun. I don't know if you guys can hear I was whispering, but
I'll be able to hear you when you send me your audio file.
We should tweet this out just to see if we get any responses about what's a James tier.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, we've only got a couple left. Time for Rebecca's legendary cosmetic, Sheva. Or I think it's Rebecca's. Is it Ada's? I think it's Rebecca's.
I have to vote.
I think it's Ada's, yeah.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah. I have to vote Sheva into the James category. I literally don't remember ever playing against a Sheva. Not once.
Well, either do I. But Sheva I've played against.
I have.
Yeah.
I
think you mean Sheva.
I haven't played against that many Shevas, and it's been a while, actually, since playing against or with a Sheva. But I don't remember having a negative experience playing with a Sheva.
I think she may be in that category of just Resident Evil average.
I'm going to accept whatever you guys decide because I'm like, literally, this is not content. Like, I'm being honest. I can't ever remember playing with or against a Sheva.
Which is because I can remember her scream.
Like,
when she goes on the hook, you remember
I know
that.
I have. It's impossible at this point that I haven't with as much as I played. But like, I couldn't begin to have an opinion because I cannot remember a specific player ever.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. Maybe I have played against Crackers, they just weren't. But it's just so rare. It's not even notable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think she's another Jill player. Oh, then again, I can think of really good Jill players that I've played against. Whereas Sheva, I think you're right. Like,
the only thing about putting her in B tier is that if we do that, then we push it into two.
If that's the only reason we're not doing it, that's not the right reason. Just zoom in a little bit. Doesn't that like adjust it?
Is
Well, let's see.
Is Gary backseating the production right now? Is he backseating the production?
We'd have to zoom out, which we can do.
I mean, that further hides Felix, so I'm for it.
Try and position it so that we can just see Felix staring through the gap.
wait, let me see. I can. For our audio only listeners, he's peering in between our webcams. All right. So now we're definitely gonna have opinions on this Survivor. We've got ourselves Vittorio, the latest Survivor released in Dead by Daylight. Now,
everything negative you can say about Felix applies to Vittorio.
I will say Vittorio's is going to be a tough one because he's the newest Survivor, and so just in general, he's gonna be bad. Like, that comes with the territory of being the newest Survivor. Like, it happens to all of them. It happened when
we're talking about Rebecca. We're talking about Mikaela.
When Zarina was brand new, Zarina players were bad. Like, just in general.
Yeah.
So, and now look where she is. Look what she's done.
She's come so far.
Yeah. Vittorio players though, I don't know. What did you say, Doug?
I said mid B. You said, look how far Zarina's coming. I said mid B. I was just waxing off the things you were saying. Was all.
Oh, okay. I thought you said mid D, like that's where you wanted to put Vittorio. Like, let's wrap this up.
No, I'm not interrupting. We could talk for another hour about Vittorio. I could talk all day about the weird shirtless, colored guy.
What I would say about Vittorio is he's been out for a while now, and I have seen the number of Vittorios drop. And the skill level has kind of, I think it's like at a point where it's like you can start to kind of assess the kind of players that are going to keep playing Vittorio, and they're not great.
I think a lot of the old David players are playing Vittorio too. I think he just kind of tracks as like David level for me. I don't think that a ton of really insane Survivor players decided to main Vittorio. I think a lot of people said they were going to main Vittorio and then didn't.
Yeah.
I don't find them to be oppressively bad at the game, on or against them. I don't find them to be super impressive in most cases. I've played against a couple really good ones.
I'm just staring at like Steve's area and thinking, that's kind of where I see Vittorio.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Yeah. I did. So for a while, when he was brand new, back in November, which is hard to believe, I did have briefly for like about a week or so. I did have a policy where I dodged any lobby with Vittorio in it because I got so tired of him farming me off hook.
Which they still do. They still do to this side.
They still do. They still do. But I finally broke down. I played with a Vittorio player that redeemed my hope in them. But I still have generally had negative experiences.
Yeah.
As a teammate. As a killer, I don't know. He's been fine to play against, but playing with has been horrible.
Maybe because again, I think that when we compare him to Steve, right? If they're both starting the game naked with items, this isn't a naked shirt thing. They're both starting the game without items. I'm taking the Vittorio over the Steve, but they both have I'm taking Steve over Vittorio. But if they both have flashlights, I'm taking Vittorio over Steve.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's I'm with you on like the Steve level of confidence, and this might be one we can look at in a few months as things start to even out and more of the Vittorio players become mains rather than
I think in the future, like at season 30, it'd be nice to look through some of our tier lists and be like, how much have things changed?
Yeah, we could always do it off and like record it off. Just do like a short one where we kind of discuss what we think and break it down, moving stuff around because these will change, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe we put Nancy in S tier?
Yeah, right. And
she's like the worst now.
Oh yeah, if they bring Stranger Things back, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to Nancy players?
So I'd put Vittorio above Steve, but
yeah.
Unless
they both have flashlights.
Yeah.
No, above Steve is right. Yeah, I got it.
That looks good.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
I'm quite happy with our tier list. I think we've done quite good, and we've got along so well during it.
I know. Look at that.
I'm not going to sleep tonight with Jeff over Feng, but that's fine, guys. You guys will get your rest, so.
I'm going to sleep like a baby.
I sleep like a baby. Prince Gowie.
Like a crown prince, yeah. Like a little... The little prince needs to get to sleep. You got a kingdom to run tomorrow.
So just to recap, because we just finished our S tier, which I think we're all very proud of.
Agreed. Yeah,
begins
100%.
with Nancy, goes to Ace, Cheryl, and then Yui. I think that's
which I think is a fair batch.
Yeah, if I saw those 4 survivors in the same lobby as killer, I think I'd dodge.
Or with the
that
bloody
lobby.
Cosmetics.
Yeah, I think I would be concerned.
4 P100s. Can you imagine 4
Yeah,
P100s?
oh my god, that's
survivors?
Oh no. Next A tier, we've got Adam, King of A tier, followed by Yun-Jin, Laurie, Nia, Yoichi, Elodie, and Quentin.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy with all of those choices as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we left anyone off of A tier. Like, there's nobody that I would move up to A tier, and there's nobody in A tier that I would move down. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
B tier is our most populated tier, starting with Dwight, going to Jane, David, Zarina, Ada, the Resident Evil crew, frankly. That's not Leon
That's
or
really
Rebecca.
Or Carlos.
Kate, and then Felix to round things out, which...
I like that. I will say, it's a nice thing that Dwight became like a unit of measurement.
He did.
We very quickly put him right in the middle.
He was a stone wall between B and A, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every survivor would be like, do I want you in my lobby over a Dwight?
Yeah. Because Dwights could go either way. It's like he's just a coin flip.
Yeah.
Frankly. C tier, Lisa Garland, Claudette, Jake, Mikaela, Jeff, Feng Min, Rebecca, Vittorio, Steve, and Tapp. I saw Doug wince when I said Jeff. I think other than that, we're pretty happy. Yeah. And then D tier. I'm surprised that we agreed so much about D tier. D tier has traditionally been the battlegrounds for us.
Yeah.
But Meg, and then Big, Dumb, and Loud, Jonah, Ash, Jonathan, Carlos, Bill, and Leon.
We do need to... D tier should just be Meg, and then we have another one called Big, Dumb, and Loud.
Yeah, seriously.
Frankly,
seriously.
Yeah,
It's funny. We're like upgrading, though, because we used to debate hard D tier. Now we're debating hard in the C tier. So maybe next tier list, B will be the battlegrounds. and then we'll start debating things that matter in the A tier and above.
Yeah.
Later on.
There we go.
This
There
is
we go.
moved, Carlos. Wait.
There we go.
Yeah, this is
That's
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Big, dumb, and
cool.
loud. Love it.
Big, dumb, and loud. And then to round things off, we've got the James tier, which is kind of like the Silent Hill otherworld of this tier list. We don't know where to put people. Haddie, Cybil, and James.
James couldn't even win his own category.
No,
Sad.
he couldn't. He's not even king of James tier. All right. Well, this
So
has
that makes
been...
James the least relevant survivor in Dead by Daylight.
But it's still,
Yeah.
I think it's, but they're like in a separate world, whereas Leon is still the worst.
The worst. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, this was great. This was was this our best tier list episode ever?
Maybe.
I would
I love doing the tier lists.
I would
they're
say
so much fun.
best tier list season ever is how I
Best
would
tier list
describe
season.
it.
Right.
Maybe.
Right, because it's the season premiere and the finale. I forgot.
True. Yeah.
Another one in the bag.
Yeah. So everybody, make sure that you leave us your feedback. If you're a very angry Carlos main right now, let us know.
Generally, yeah, I'd love to know where people feel about Jeff.
Yeah. If you're really angry about Carlos, just make sure you at Gary. In the comment.
Yeah.
Why me?
And yeah, I think that's great, Gary, what you said. I was just trying to meme, but yeah, I would love some backup on the Jeff debate. And I'm also okay if you're disagreeing with me. We just want to hear from you guys more than anything. We love the comments.
I would like some backup on Rebecca because I think we all know she's in D tier. But I relented because we got to end the podcast sometime.
Whereas I think I'm pretty happy with where everybody is.
The Points got his way.
Yeah, I got my way.
Gross. It's a Gary tier list. Ew.
Ew.
I hate it. We need to redo it.
Yeah,
We're going to start
we
over.
do now.
Cut the footage, John. We're going to start over.
Yeah, we'll just do this again.
Clear your schedules.
Yeah, we guys got nothing else for the rest of the day. Just a quick reminder before we close things out. We do have a Discord server that we announced at the beginning of the podcast. Gary's already forgotten.
What we should do?
Join.
Put the tier list in there, and debate can happen in there as well.
Yeah, I could put it in the podcast text channel. That works great. Okay. Well, yeah, make sure you join the Discord server. There's a link. Should be a link in the description wherever you're listening or watching. And next season we'll get back to regular news and ASIM talk.
Excellent.
We're gonna do a whole we're gonna do a whole Ghostbusters episode, right, guys?
Yeah, judging by the
That's
feedback
right.
we got in last season's comments.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
there's
people
so
have
much to talk
spoken.
about. There's so much to talk
Well,
about.
there has
Ghostbusters.
been a patch. There has been a patch.
There's a
A
buzz
patch?
about.
Let's talk about the patch for an hour and a half.
Also, I can't
Sounds
talk
good.
about Killer Clowns, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys need to talk about that stuff sooner, come talk to us about it in the Discord. We'd love to chat with you.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you really want to talk about Ghostbusters and you just can't wait, definitely join the
Yeah.
Discords because there is a dedicated Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed text channel in the
Which
Discord.
John will not shut up about.
I've already muted it.
He's gushing.
It was the first thing I did. Well, thank you all for listening and watching and supporting us. Make sure everybody has 5 stars on Spotify. And
Oh yes, do that.
On behalf of, do we have any more homework assignments for them? They've got to join the Discord server. They've got to give us feedback. They've got to rate the podcast 5 stars.
Stay awesome. I'd like everyone to keep being awesome.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for coming. And on behalf of me and my co-host, Gary the Hot Cross,
Hey.
and our recurring guest, Doug the Running Man.
Yay!
Yeah.
Season 16. Bye.
Bye everybody. Bye.